Good evening. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today's Wednesday, July 20th. You love the good evening?
Good evening.
Do you love the good evening?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I squeaked there.
Oh. Big show, excited.
We're big show. Very excited. Got a lot of guests. Director of Sports Medicine for LSU, Beau Lowery, our friend. Used to be our baseball trainer. Ended up becoming the trainer for the Saints. Basically ran the show there. Is now running the show here. Replaced Jack Marucci. He is coming in studio. Paul Gervase recently, hasn't really signed yet, I guess, but will be signing with the Mets. Got drafted in the 12th round. He'll be coming on via video call. But until then, we're just going to BS, hang out, talk around. Sean Ochinko, the Big O Show. The Big O Show in studio.
Happy to be back.
This is the first time you're in the studio.
Yeah, we've usually done Earls, so
Yeah,
this
that's
is my
okay.
first time. I like
okay.
the
Speaking of Earls, we will not have Earls this Friday. That is on me. I have in my millionth wedding that I have to stand in this weekend.
Oh my God, another one?
Another one. My buddy, he's my best friend from growing up, so I'm in his wedding.
How many best friends and family?
A lot of
friends?
friends.
Let's say, oh, here we go.
I have a lot of
Long
friends.
family tree.
I have a lot of
Long
friends.
family
It's
tree.
always my best friend, everybody. I even saw it on Instagram today with Beau. Oh, my best friend.
Yeah.
Well, Beau was my best man, so one of them.
Okay, it's gotta pick one.
Yeah, I too.
Oh,
No,
no, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Him and my brother-in-law.
Where are you, Mike? I'm at my 7th cousin's bar mitzvah in 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, like it's all
Mazel-
It's part of it, you know. It's part of it. It's
Mazel
just-
tov.
That's just kind of what happens. But you're watching Mik'd Up, and we are brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Got to get that in there. I'm about to buy a new car from Sterling for my wife, which is great. That is happening tomorrow.
Wagoneer?
No, not there. We haven't
The
we
Voyager.
haven't yet.
I was
He's
going
going
to say
with the Voyager.
Wagoneer's big shooter.
And he's going
I
with
saw
the
it. I
Voyager.
saw it yesterday. It's fire.
My boss's wife just got one. It's sick.
It's big shooter.
I've seen a couple. It's very sharp looking.
You know what else is big shooter? Is the Genesis.
I haven't
Big
seen that.
shooter. Like the SUV, the big SUV Genesis, fire.
Really?
Like fire. Very nice. Very expensive, very nice. But we're not here to talk about cars.
You
We're
look
here
like
to
a
talk
Voyager
about
guy to
sports.
me.
We had All-Star game, baseball All-Star game. I know people don't like talking about baseball because it's a million years long and football season's right on the horizon. You want to talk about fantasy football. You want to talk about all this stuff. But All-Star game was entertaining. It was fun. We obviously watched the home run derby here on the show on Monday. All-Star game happened yesterday. I enjoyed the mic'd up section of the game. Like I enjoyed having a pitcher on the mound, mic'd
Yeah, it was
up,
cool. I liked
having
it.
a conversation with Smoltz about how he's going to sequence this guy. And Manoah is probably the best guy you could have gotten because he was very entertaining and he struck out the side.
Yeah.
Talking about what he's going to do, struck out the side. So I thought that was pretty
Asking
cool.
for pitches.
Yeah.
I think Major League Baseball has done a good job with the let the kids play thing, kind of going with it.
I agree.
Right? With the commercials and the backwards hats in the dugout. I know it's not the old school way, but I think
No, but it's good. It's
Yeah.
more fun. It's
more entertaining.
It's more relatable. There he is. Welcome.
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 Good evening.
What a guy.
Look, that's how you know he's professional. He's 14 minutes early.
14.
14 minutes. I'm used to these guys showing up 2 minutes before the show. It's-
Hey, we're
It's
ready
okay.
for kickoff.
That's right.
we're gonna
We
get.
show up ready for
You
kickoff.
can just sit down for a little bit. We'll just watch the show for a little bit. We got 10 minutes, and then we'll intro you
We'll
if
get
that's
it going.
okay. I don't know if
Oh,
that's
good
is that
to
gonna.
see you.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it was good. Otherwise, it'd be flimsy.
Well, Mikey took that chair
Yeah,
out.
what chair is that?
Well, I did take
He
that
took
chair out
one
yesterday with a bat. The bat, it wouldn't stand on here, and I got frustrated, and I threw the bat, and it crushed the chair. But it's all part of it.
Some things never change.
Yeah.
You know, it just is what it is.
Yeah, it's all part of it. It's all part of it. But we're talking about the All-Star game. I agree with you. I think that they have done a really good job of making it more relatable to the younger generation players. Like, I think that there's a place for the history part of baseball, no doubt. But I think the game has changed. I think if you're trying to bring in a new crop of entertaining players, you need to make it entertaining for them to do, and you've got to cut down on, you can't bat flip, you can't look, bat flip all you want, just don't disrespect somebody. Don't throw the bat at the pitcher or throw the bat in the dugout. Don't do the Tony Vitello stuff in Tennessee.
Well, I mean, I feel like at the All-Star game, though, it's all fair game. Like, does anybody really care?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No
I mean,
doubt.
that one's like, sure,
Bring
your personality.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, too, is people don't realize that stuff happened back in the day, too. They just will retaliate about it. And now it's like you can't retaliate, so people get pissed off about it. It's like, hey, look, hasn't changed that much. It happens way more now.
Right.
But it used to happen back then, too.
Yeah, so they're showing the Jeter thing, right? they showed the first episode of The Captain, which was awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Very good.
I mean,
Second episode tonight.
is it tonight?
Yeah.
Really? I thought it was.
I thought it was gonna be every
Thursday.
Sunday.
Tomorrow night. This tomorrow night.
Every Sunday, I thought it was Monday. The first one episode was Monday.
Monday,
right?
every Monday.
Yeah, it's either tonight or tomorrow night. One of
Okay,
the two.
well, so they're showing this, right? And then they showed Reggie Jackson hitting a monster home run and pimping the hell out of it. Like, threw the bat, stood in there and watched it, and they showed some other guy hitting a homer.
Ruben Sierra.
Ruben Sierra, like,
Hey, you ever heard
shuffling around like,
Hey,
he's
you
been
ever
there forever.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Ricky Henderson?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he hit a ball that he didn't pimp.
Right.
They're like,
Right.
he
Field
just-
singles.
He did everything. He
It's
took the base when
it's
he.
just
You know
more
what I
in
mean?
your,
Like,
it's
that's
just
how he
more in
lived.
your face now because social media.
No doubt.
That's it.
No doubt.
He
And
literally
that's-
stole the base.
I mean, come on, man.
It has been there forever.
Picked it up in the
different.
air.
And that's entertaining, though. That's what, like,
Yeah.
nobody had anything bad to say about them. Like, hey, if you don't like it, get me out.
People just you couldn't. Like, I guess if you went with Ricky Henderson, like you couldn't throw at him because you put him on and he was on third and 2 pitches. So they
Yeah,
just
right.
let it go when
Right.
he did it. But like just because everyone isn't Ricky doesn't mean you can't do it. You know, it just
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, I think that baseball's done a really good job, and there's some things that they still need to continue to work on to make it better. Listen, shortening the game is never gonna happen. Like it's
not a thing.
It's just inevitable. The game's gonna be long. Now let's figure out how
to keep people engaged
for 3 hours.
Yeah, that's all.
3.5 hours. Like, do something within the stadium
That's all.
to keep them engaged and allow them to have fun. Right? Don't take away from the game. Do something in the stadium to make it different. Right? Basketball plays music. Obviously, you're not going to play music, but do something to where it entices the fans to come to the stadium outside of just sitting down, eating popcorn, eating a hot dog, and watching a baseball game.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know that answer, but that's
I'd love to see
how
him
you do it.
have. You know how like so in the College World Series this year they tried to do the umpire cam, which
Yeah.
is cool, right?
Right.
I'd love to see him be able to on a platform kind of have one of those high definition cameras, like literally sitting front row. And now you zoom in to where like your point of view is a little off center, but your point of view is right behind
Right.
the
No,
hitter.
I think
so you can really get high def what it kind of looks like,
Right.
as opposed to kind of a lower def moving around camera that's going on. You know what I mean?
We were talking off air. I was like, if you want to make it really entertaining for the All-Star game, have a little bit of like the Savannah Bananas action in the All-Star game.
I mean, you know what they need to do?
Where
Seriously.
the fans
Sure.
get interactive.
Hey, if
I
they
mean,
take-
obviously,
Get
like,
goofy with it, right? But
you know,
not
do
too
something.
much.
Hey, you know what would be funny? I'm being serious. Like, we sit there and everyone sat there and watched the home run derby. How much would you love to see Acuna throw from right field and probably put one in a trash can?
Yeah, yeah.
Have
like
somewhat of a
skills
skills
competition.
somewhat of
Like
a
a
skills
skills
competition.
competition.
Yeah,
for
kind of
sure.
like what the Pro Bowl has, but with baseball, right?
Yeah.
Besides just the
Yeah.
home run derby.
Yeah, right. Or like what basketball has a skills competition
Right,
too.
there you
Right,
go.
yeah.
Hockey. We're the
Something
only,
to kinda
baseball is the
get
only
it
sport
going.
that doesn't have a skills
Right. A
competition.
skills competition.
What
yeah.
would you do outside of the home run derby? Understand the throwing stuff, but you don't want pitchers out there seeing how
No,
much.
No, you don't
No,
do that.
no,
but
no.
like,
Pitchers
you
are
can
out
talk about like
How fast a guy can run from home to home, time,
Or-
right? Now,
or
obviously,
like-
you don't want to have
or
guys blowing out.
how
right?
quick
But
how quick can you get the
Lose
ball
the wheel.
from like a double cut, like a ball's in the fence, like how fast can you get the ball from here to here to home
Yeah.
and get you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
how
There's
accurate
things
are
you
you from
can
the
do.
outfield,
You can
how
do.
accurate are you from short, whatever, you know.
And there's a level of risk involved in everything, right? The guys that do the dunk contest, I mean, they're just like jumping out of the gym
doubt.
and doing all these crazy
But
tricks.
here's the
right?
deal,
So
dude.
like, I mean,
These
it's
guys
part
have
of
been
it.
playing baseball all year. Their arms are in shape. They're not like they're coming off the off season. Like, throw the ball hard. Like they
Right.
throw the ball hard every day.
Yeah.
Like you're not doing something that's
The pitchers have to do it on the All-Star
Yeah.
game. Like,
Right.
it wouldn't be any
no
different.
doubt.
No, I'm
No
just
doubt.
saying there would definitely be flack if somebody got hurt, especially in baseball. They'd be like, oh, because these are all stars and Pro Bowl at the end of the year. You have time to recover if anything were to happen. This is the middle of the year. These are your best players. That's why they probably don't do anything
Look,
outside.
I
I
get
get
it.
it. There's
I know,
more.
but I wish there
there's
was
more
something to-
chance to someone getting hurt. But if you want to grow the game, I feel like that would be
You
a
know-
viable way to do it.
Probably the easiest way for somebody to get hurt is flying coach at 1 in the morning. If you're Juan Soto.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Okay,
let's-
can we-
But let's not. But listen, but let's talk about him. You do realize he sat first class, right?
That doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
And listen, he
Never
doesn't.
been up there. I've only flown the
doesn't-
plane.
The teams do not. They don't pay for. They don't pay for your charter flight in an All-Star game. The team doesn't do it. Usually, you get a bonus and you pay the charter flight with that bonus, right? Like teams are like, oh, we're gonna buy all of our All-Stars charter flight. Usually, it's the veteran who has the most money and it gets a charter flight, and all the guys that are from the same team on the All-Sar team, they all fly together.
Right.
That's usually how that works.
Yeah.
So there's
Team
no-
is there's an article about how the team didn't fly Juan Soto private to the All-Star game.
Well,
But
they're
teams
probably
don't do that
they're
anymore.
probably not happy with him. He just turned down $440 million.
Yeah, he definitely
too,
doesn't want to be there.
Right.
I mean, that's
I don't know
about
if the
as obvious.
Nationals are going out of their
15
way.
years. Think about this though.
He either doesn't want to be there or he doesn't like money. I'm gonna go with the first.
Think about this. 15 years. He signs the deal. He's so young that at the end of 15 years, he still wouldn't be 40 years old. How crazy is
There'll
that?
be another deal
But
waiting.
the thing is he doesn't sign the deal. Okay, so 15 years is obviously ridiculously long.
I think it's the AAV. That's why he didn't sign it.
Right.
How much money he's getting paid per
Right.
year, right? So
Right.
he would probably like. I mean, if it's up to him, he'd say, "Give me 10 years, 440. Give me 44 a year." Like, obviously, he's not going to get that, but like, he's gonna want to set the pace to be the highest paid per year.
And he's not having a very I mean,
No.
He's having a good year.
Don't let the numbers fool you.
He's doing what he does.
Yeah, he's had 20 homers,
Yeah.
okay.
and he may not be hitting 300 like he normally does.
Yeah.
He's got, for every 2 walks, he's got 1 strikeout. It's usually opposite.
But what's he hitting? 220, 218?
No, like 270, 260,
No.
dude, 250 maybe, 250.
Really?
Yeah, his OPS
I
almost
thought it was pretty
900.
low, but maybe I've been sleeping on it for a couple of weeks. Maybe
His
he's
OPS
gotten
almost
hot.
900.
He's batting 250.
250. 250 with how much? 20 homers?
What's his OPS?
And he's 14 years old? Yeah, I get it. Right.
I mean, and this is like a down year, and he's gonna have an OPS like of.
No, he's definitely very.
Huh?
162.
Wait. Oh, it's
Oh, like
OPS
1,000.
plus.
Plus.
That's
His
OPS
OPS
plus.
is,
Which is-
901.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
So for OPS plus, for those of y'all who don't understand, 162, 100 is the major league average.
League average.
His OPS is 900.
And OPS league average is what?
720 something.
Low. It's lower than 720. It's in the sevens, but it's like 710.
If you're eight, like the benchmark is if you get to 800 in the OPS,
That's really good.
Like you're really good. That's
If you
really
get
good.
to 900, that's
Elite.
very, very, very. That's elite. And 1,000 is a straight up superstar.
Right.
So
Maybe he is worth 440 then.
I mean, he's good, dude.
I mean, he's like you said,
Well,
he's
yeah.
14 still.
He's got a lot
He's
of meat,
good.
a lot of meat on
But-
the bone left.
We got 5 minutes before we intro the director of sports medicine.
Right.
He can get us all right, all healthy again.
The big shooter.
I think he's happy. He doesn't have to worry about keeping us on the field. He's worried about keeping everybody else. on the
I
field.
was never in the training room. He knows that. We can
Yeah.
discuss
Okay.
that.
I was.
Oh, okay.
Not often. One hamstring issue.
Yeah. Okay.
The phantom hammy. The phantom
One
hammy.
bad hamstring issue, but other than
That
that,
week long hammy.
The phantom hammy.
Get it
issue.
right.
Guys had to come back the
it was
same
a
day.
legitimate issue. It was a legitimate issue, and I pushed through it.
Was that after you got? Was that after your punishment run? Whenever you had to.
No, that
roll?
was
this
after
was
he heard 2 cracks of the bat from Phil and it was like, I think I'm good.
Well, yeah, that and how coach treated me and all that.
Should like me.
Here we go. But before we go there, we're gonna try to segue into the football talk a little bit, right? You have the SC Media Days. How this mic is really starting to aggravate me.
In your keister?
No, it just keeps cutting out because I don't know what to do with it. Okay. Media Days
Power
are going
through it.
on.
Just power through it.
Yeah. Good luck.
It's very entertaining to me to not have to watch our head football coach go there, and it's nice to have someone that can articulate in a clear, concise sentence what we're trying to do.
We didn't
and
have
what we're
that?
doing. We haven't had that since
Stop.
I don't know how long since when did Miles get there?
It's been
Well, he
a-
was just famous for not answering the question that was actually asked. to him.
And you have to look at what did he just say, and then.
Yeah.
I mean, just needed little subtitles with it. You know, I just couldn't understand what he was
That was
saying.
tough.
Well, the subtitles even
Oh, it's
struggled
tough.
with like they had him on the big screen, and it was a lot.
You need no background
The alphabet
noise
was
when those
whatever
talking.
you wanted.
Right, but I think we were
It's a bad game of Scrabble.
we are well represented. Obviously, like Brian Kelly's interviews have been great. I think he's had no like headlines, which is good. You don't want that, right? Let Mike Leach and those guys
Yeah.
have their headlines. Let the Beamer ball
Let's
with
fly
the
under the
video that he
radar
just
right
posted
here.
out.
Yeah.
Like, let that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm cool
We've
with
had our players have represented us well. Mike Jones and Besh, and who was the other one? Who's the third player?
BJ.
BJ.
was, yeah.
So those are 3. You can't. I mean, they represent us very well, and it's kind of that one. Like it's football. Football's king, and you finally get the little like
It's
the
almost
juices
here.
flowing.
It's almost here.
When do they start ramping up?
So today was the last day of summer work camps.
Which
Yeah.
means when's camp start? Like in a week?
No, August 4th.
August 4th. So
get a
2
little
weeks.
breather, get a little couple week blow.
Yeah. It's
Sounds great.
I'm
just
excited.
about here.
I'm excited for this season, man. I am.
It's gonna be fun. That's
I think Brian Kelly seems polished and like.
Well, that's what we're gonna
I'm
get
excited.
into.
I'm excited. I can't wait to hear. What
I'm
Brian
sure
has
you.
to say.
I'm sure like we're gonna get into this in a little bit, but I'm sure you felt the trickle down. So that's okay. You know what? We're going to take a 30-second break, and let's get set up, and we're going to start getting into this because Beau's got some insight, and I want to talk to him about it, and I'm just excited. I hadn't seen Beau in a long time. So you're watching Mik'd Up, and you're brought to you by Sterling Automotive. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Oh, good to see you.
Yay!
At Rejuvame, we specialize in medically monitored hormone replacement therapy, giving you the energy you need for all life's challenges. We can help get your day started. 1, 2, 1, 2. We can help with those long work days, and we can even make your nights longer. Rejuvame. Let us be your age-defying clinic. Restore me, refuel me, Rejuvame.
Today's show is brought to you by Dos Equis. Here in Louisiana, we like to have a great time. If you're looking to be the life of the tailgate, check out Dos Equis mini kegs. Hold 16 beers, easy to tap, easy to pour, easy to chill. Check it out. Become a life of the party. You're welcome. Mik'd Up is brought to you by Law Offices of Lance Beal. Call them today, 337-991-6263. They know what it takes to win. Their practice areas include personal injury, small business, family law, estate planning, with an emphasis in construction law. Your choice for reliable representation. 337-991-6263. Our What's for Lunch segment is brought to you by Doe's Eat Place. Maybe the best burger in town. If you're not looking for lunch, you're looking for dinner, go check out Doe's Eat Place. They have unbelievable choice of meats. They have unbelievable tamales. They have a great atmosphere, great vibes. If you're looking for a homey Louisiana type of atmosphere, but you're looking for high quality food, Doe's Eat Place is your spot. Go in the back bar, sit at the bar, have a couple drinks, watch some games, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the vibes. Check out Doe's Eat Place, the best place in Baton Rouge to get your meats. Back to Mik'd Up. We're brought to you by Sterling Automotive. You know, we have to, sometimes you got to keep everybody checked a little.
It's like a kid in school. Yeah.
Hey, what is it, the winning time? When I do this, don't talk.
Yeah.
Oh, hand open, talk.
Oh, you want
Here,
the fist?
no talk.
Yeah.
Think Pat loved that or no?
Yeah. You think Pat Riley of all people
You think
like
Pat
that?
loved that or no?
Thank you.
Probably shaped the way he is today.
But I'm excited to introduce my friend,
Dear friend.
former, what was your title with the Saints?
Director of Sports Medicine.
Former director of sports medicine with the New Orleans Saints. He was our trainer in 2009, won a College World Series with us at LSU. Left LSU, went to was with the Saints, was there for
9 years.
9 years. He was Drew Brees is the reason Drew Brees was on the field for as long as he was on the field. Beat up. And then it's hard to stay away from Baton Rouge, hard to stay away from LSU. He comes back to LSU, and now he's the director of sports medicine here at LSU. Beau Lowery. Beau, thank you for coming on the show.
Dude,
I
this is
appreciate
like a
this.
reunion,
I
man.
know.
I love it.
I know. We've been talking
People
about
don't
getting you back
understand the
on.
history here. Like
Oh
it's
my
God.
strong. It's firm.
It is
Yeah.
strong. It is strong. I mean, you're the first trainer I had at LSU, right? Like you were tough on us, but it was good. We needed to be. You needed to have.
Yeah, it was funny. So who was I talking to the other day? I said, I remember when we were recruiting Mikey. I said, because initially, I want to say your junior year, you didn't even get offered a scholarship, right? So it's like, hey, so I'm not going to name the coaches. They said, hey, we got this kid, uber talented. He's a quarterback at St. Thomas More, a lot of upside. It's like, but his mom's really hot, so we need to bring him on campus a couple of times. Like, so we're going to spend some time with him. I will never forget that.
I look. You don't even have to tell me the coach because I know who it is.
So for me, it's hilarious because I was like, wait, why is he not naming a coach?
Yeah, I know.
why.
I already know who it is.
Think about it for like 3 seconds. You know,
I'm like, yeah.
you look back and go, oh, it's immediate.
I wondered why I was getting so much attention. That makes sense
Oh,
now.
that's great. I love it.
Oh man.
Mikey, why don't you go to the trainer's room and talk to your mom?
But
man.
just that whole process
Yeah.
of remembering you guys as you guys were getting recruited, and then sort of where it went to and where we were able to get to in 2009. I think it was, man, what a special group. What a special group. Every time I don't send a lot of tweets out, I usually just retweet. But anytime I send a tweet out dealing with any of you guys, it's like champ for life.
Yep.
Right?
Always.
That was our motto.
Always.
That was our mode.
It's
loved it.
and I mean it's a testament to that, because you look at our friends, right? 90% of the guys that are on that team are all still best friends. We all hang out, we all talk. Now the other 10% are only because they're not here.
Yeah.
Because they moved back home
Yeah.
or did something else. It wasn't like you go through that team and there really wasn't many on that team that didn't get along, right? And it's just that's kind of how you create that culture and that winning mentality. And that's actually a perfect segue into the football talk, right? You came back from the Saints, right? And that's one of the biggest things the New Orleans Saints are known for in the NFL right now is how close and how tight that locker room is in that organization, how nothing gets out. Everything, it stays in-house. It's dealt with in-house. And you leave something like that to come to LSU where the last couple years it hasn't been the case. And then you come to an organization and a team that has a new coach, a new staff, and he is instilling that type of culture again. What have you seen, and if there are any comparisons between what he's doing here and what you saw in New Orleans?
Yeah, it's interesting, and I'm not just saying it because you guys are here, but I sort of equated our teams in New Orleans, which when you start talking about professional ball, and all of you guys play professional ball, right? And you would say, hey, professional ball is different from college ball. I would tell you our locker room in New Orleans was the same. I compared it to our baseball locker room where, like, literally guys cared about each other so much. I never will forget. I tell this story all the time. This was 2015, 2016. At the time, our right tackle, Zach Streif, had an MCL injury, right? He wasn't playing that game. This is Saturday night, right before the game. We're in there doing treatment, and basically the way it worked, we had treatment, then they had a team meeting, then they'd break off, right? So Drew was always the last one to walk into the training room because it's where everybody congregated before dispersing into the team meeting. And Streif said, is there any way, like, I can play? Is there any way? I'm like, dude, you're on crutches.
Yeah.
Like, what? And he was literally, like, sincere. He's like, I don't want to let that dude down, and pointed to Drew. And I felt the same way with our team back in 2009. But to have that feeling at the professional level, right? Like, that is so rare.
Super rare.
And I'll tell you, like, what Coach Payton and what Mickey Loomis and what those guys did in building that culture, because to win, you got to have that culture. It was phenomenal.
I think, it's funny you say that because you can build that culture around a room, around a team, and you can have great success and maybe not actually win the big one. When you actually win something, right? I don't like to bring this back to those years, but it's funny because he's been to both levels and seen it in both levels. And to actually win one, you understand what kind of selflessness it actually takes from a group, right? And you can get right there and don't do it, and it's so like going through the years, and as you get older now, you start to understand like how fleeting that feeling and understanding, like that's actually what it takes that gets you over the hump. And getting 25 people, getting 53 people, it's so hard.
And you have to
hard.
have people stay healthy. You have to have good luck. You can't like 2009. I was a freshman. We won it. The next year, I'm like, oh, we're gonna win again. Like we have everybody back.
Right.
Ronaldo gets hurt, couple injuries,
Right.
and you're like, well, it's hard. My junior year, young team, we're decent, but we don't make it to the postseason. It's like, crap.
And but
Like,
how
we
many?
had a 1 year. I was like, I thought I was gonna be almost 3 years in a row.
But that's my thing about it. So like you knew because you saw it. You saw the blueprint. You did it. But now you got incoming freshmen. Maybe you got a transfer. Maybe you got a guy coming from a JUCO who maybe not doesn't quite understand it. Maybe doesn't quite hop on board. It's hard, man, and it's crazy to see that because you could have 12 people that understand it and get in or fully bought in, but you need everyone to do it. And that doesn't always actually mean you win, which is crazy.
Have you seen, because we had a lot of transfers come in, right? Like he had to go, we had half the roster basically gone. He had to come in, get guys from the portal, get recruits. He had to kind of put his spin on it. Have you seen those guys that he's brought in kind of buy into
Oh man,
the
yeah.
culture he's putting?
Like, I would say this, like from where we started in January and in February, and Coach Kelly came in, and look, he wants to make these guys better human beings, right? So accountability becomes one of the big mantras, right? So guys would sort of do their own thing, and he's like, no, we're not doing it. I don't care who you are. I don't care how talented you are. But to see all of these guys buy in, it's funny, me and Robert Steeples was standing there as they were running today and finishing up, and it's like, man, it is amazing to see where this group has come in just a few short months, because I would say we don't have a bad kid on the team. Now, we had kids with bad habits, and we had kids that needed to be taught, but the way Coach Kelly put everything sort of together as far as having a Tiger standard, and hey, there's an accountability, and not just football-wise, you're going to go to class. Man, you're going to go to your tutors. You're going to be present at the weight room. You're not going to be late. If you're hurt, you're going to be in the training room. You're going to be in the training room on time. And that is the standard. That's not extra. You're not doing anything extra. That's standard.
It doesn't take effort to do that.
It doesn't
doing
take
what you're
effort.
asked to do.
And does
Absolutely.
it kind of remind you of how Paul was at the beginning, right? And then you just look at the Nick Saban, the Coach K, the Bill Belichick, right? Not everyone. Pete Carroll does things. There's different ways to win, but man, that structure and that discipline and that focus and everybody on the same page, and it's either you get in line and get on board, or you're not going to
Get out the way.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's that. And I don't know him, and I know Beau spends a lot of time with him, but just from watching him on TV and hearing him speak and looking at tidbits, you're like, okay, this guy's.
Well, that has to make you feel good about it,
Very
because
much.
if coming from inside the program, if you can say that, and they haven't literally played a single down of real football yet, that means a lot, because
exciting.
when you add success to that, that only snowballs. You know, stuff like that only builds.
Yeah,
even
and to
more.
your question, I would say the transfers coming in, they didn't know any better, and this is all they were used to. So the guys that were there, that was the biggest group to, man, get them to buy in and get them to see and understand that, hey, man, we love you. That's why we're holding you accountable. It's not the other way around.
Right.
So.
And you see, I talked about it before, because people were panicking, like, oh, we don't have, everybody's gone, everybody's left, we only have half a roster. I'm like, honestly, I think that could be a good thing. Like, you have a new coach with a new staff. That is the hardest thing to do, is to get the current guys that are there to buy into what you're trying to sell them.
100%.
And if you don't have a full 85-man roster to have to go and convince, you can bring in some of the guys that don't know better like that. I think that would help move the message on along a little bit quicker, right? Like, that was kind of that was my perception of it, and
Absolutely. And you got to have leaders, and you know that with every good team that you've ever been on. Like, there again, I was fortunate enough to see for 9 years one of the better, I would say the best leader that's ever walked on the face of the earth. Like, I saw, and it wasn't necessarily verbal, from Drew. It was how he carried himself as being the first guy in the building. It was, working hard. It was being organized. It was, and look, I told you how Zach felt about everybody. Everybody on that team felt that way about him. Yep. Everything else was secondary. Football was primary, and everybody felt that. Because I've even said, like, for me, it made me better at what I do. It made me better. Because I think a little bit of a cultural change needed to happen when I first got there. And at the end of the day, y'all are all players, and a little different in college. You may have had a trainer in high school, you may not have. You get to the professional level, you've had an experience, and you're like, man, does this guy care about me?
Right.
Yeah.
Does this guy have my best interest at heart?
Right.
Because I've had that conversation a lot, especially in the NFL. It's like, man, you're paid by the team, right? So you're
Team's best
the
interest.
you're putting the team ahead of me.
Right.
Yeah.
And look, before I even took the head position, I had a meeting with Sean and Mikie, and I said, look, I promise you, if we put the players first and we take care of them, everything else will work out. And that is so true. And that is my belief today.
Absolutely.
Even as we're going through a bunch of the changes and stuff we are at LSU, it all centers around our student athlete. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not making changes to, help me or to help our staff or to help our doctors or to help. It's all about our student athlete. Yep. And as long as that's the focus, I've found you're going to win.
No doubt.
You're going to win in the training room setting.
You have to feel, a player has to feel, especially when you get to the professional level, has to feel that they matter, right? They have to feel that the team is with them. They don't there's such a disconnect between player and organization, upper management, and professional sports because you feel like you're a pawn. If the upper management shows you that they care about you, that goes miles.
I think what you find a lot in pro sports too, I would imagine you could probably find it a good bit in college sports. I just never saw it here. Is you find people basically trying to tell you that you're playing for basically the name on your back instead of the people that are employing you / that have brought you in, trying to make you understand and feel and have a real love for the people that you're around,
right?
For the university or team that you're playing for, to try to get you to be better for that situation. Yep. Now, look, and you get into it knowing that you may move, you may go somewhere else, but while I'm here, it needs to be best for what's here.
Yep. No doubt.
Absolutely.
And if you don't get that feeling from the other side of it, it's hard to get the best out of someone.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what level they're performing at.
Right.
It's just probably a little more in there.
Yep.
And things like you go from professional to college. There's a lot of similarities between both, but there's a lot of differences, right? And then we met each other in 2009, and from 2009 till 2022, there's a lot of things that change and evolve within sports medicine, within technology, within the way the game is played, and being able to go through college to NFL and be able to make those adjustments. What are some of the big things that you have seen change in the course of your time as the director of sports medicine within the last 20 years, I guess?
Well, look, I'll tell you, and this is patting our strength and conditioning group on the back a little bit. Man, we're using technology, and we're applying technology to how we practice, to what we ask our players to do. And I think that's probably the biggest thing. You look at player load and the catapult, being able to use that data and go, guess what? I know we have the ability to go practice for 3 hours, but we're not going to do it because the risk reward, man, it's not worth it, right? So let's get what we need in, and then back off these guys so they can have fresh legs and they can learn mentally.
Work smarter, not harder.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I said, I use a lot of the experience that I had in the NFL, right? A lot of the games where we played really, really well was our Thursday night games, right? So we play on Sunday. The players have a day off. Then there's a film session. Then, you may have a walkthrough. Right. And then you get ready to play.
Nobody's hitting each other.
And nobody's hit each other. And all of a sudden, man, we're fresh. We're flying around. I talked Coach Payton in, I guess it was 2020, we had walkthrough Wednesdays. And that was the best, right?
Yeah.
Giving these guys an extra day and letting them just get mentally prepared. They didn't have to worry about, there is no contact, there's none of that happening. Walk through Wednesdays, and then let's get after it a little bit on Thursday and Friday and be ready to go for Sunday. So I've always been of the mindset of, hey, less is more. Now, as you transition to the college setting, man, there's still a developmental aspect that's happening, right? So guys still have to work and get better. So you've got to navigate that a little bit differently than you do the NFL. But, man, I'm super excited for what Coach Kelly's brought, because I can tell you this. Based on our winter conditioning, that's how he set up our spring practices and the volume of practice as we started rolling in the spring, right? So it's like, man, this is awesome, right?
Yeah.
So
he's very
analytical, very technology driven. Yeah, he listens. Look, and he knows his stuff now. Like I've been uberly impressed.
Nice.
Wow. That's fun to hear.
I got a question, man, just because it kind of blows my mind. Like, you sit there and you watch technology and you watch injuries as they happen, and then knowing what used to be the normal timetable for certain big injuries, and then now seeing how medicine and technology and sports are all driven, and how things like that are getting cut down to different, shorter amount of times. Does it blow your mind, being in medicine and sports for so long, to see injuries that used to take 9 months now take 6
ACLs
months?
used to take a year. Now you can get ACL back in 6
Achilles,
months.
who used to be a year, now take 8 months. Like, and stuff like this. Does it blow your mind seeing stuff like that and seeing still humans being able to do stuff?
No, to be honest with you, it's extremely stimulating, right? Because we're all getting better, right? People think medicine, especially sports medicine and orthopedics, is black and white, right? It is so much gray.
Yeah.
It's so much gray, right? And I was on the phone last night with a parent, and I just used the analogy, like in understanding baseball, right? People think all of a sudden, oh, there's a labral tear in the shoulder. Oh my gosh, we have to have surgery. Like, no, there's a study done back in 2010 that they had like over 200 major league pitchers. 66% of them had labral tears, and they were asymptomatic.
Right.
They were
Dinged up.
asymptomatic. You know, my buddy in Houston says, look, if you have a pitcher that throws 95, they better have a slap tear.
Yeah.
Right.
They better to be able to have that motion.
Yeah.
So it is, to answer your question, it is so great, but I think as we gain more knowledge, yeah, it's awesome to see things speeding up, but I'll tell you, there's things that's slowing down too, right? So you've got to respect physiology, and you've got to respect the healing aspect. So, you know, that's what I tell parents. And now with the NIL deal, it's crazy. We have these agents that are coming into play. Luckily, I know all of them.
Right.
It was funny. We had one of our players get hurt, and one of the agents called, and he talked to one of the assistants and said, "Hey, I'm the agent for this player." And I got on the phone. I was like, "Hey, dude." He's like, "What are you doing there? What are you doing? Like, you're dealing with LSU kids now?" I said, "I'm at LSU." He said, dadgum, okay. I was like, yeah, this is how we're doing it. This is how we're going to play
Don't
it.
bully my sister.
Yeah.
Go ahead, shut this down right now.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Oh, this is you?
Have a good day.
Okay, never mind. You're good.
Calls the
this
player,
guy
hey,
knows
buddy,
what
you're
he's
in good
talking about.
hands.
Yeah.
Just do what he says. I don't care.
So it has been really good. Look, the fact that I was in New Orleans and got to work with all of the guys all over across the country, from, you know, the best hip guy in the country, Brian Kelly, to Ella Trosh on the West Coast, to Steve Shin, the hand surgeon that did Drew's thumb, to Bob Anderson, the foot and ankle guy. So I consider most of those guys good friends. I worked with them so closely. So I feel like we put our
Hopefully in
players
30
here.
years you say Matt Fury passed something.
That's right.
Dude, we are recruiting.
I
him
know. I'm recruiting for it. That's what I'm saying. I'm recruiting for you.
We've heard.
hard.
We've
Hard. I
heard.
try to talk to Matt every couple of weeks and just, hey, dude.
Put a
hey,
plug in for him right now.
yeah.
Matt, listen.
I'm working on
Listen
that.
to
Hey,
him.
I know. We'll send the clip. We'll cut the clip and send it to him. Even if we don't post it, we'll send it to him.
Personal testimony.
Yeah.
Just for you.
But y'all are in the middle of like this transformation, right, of the training room. Like it's a $15-20 million renovation, at least from I mean, obviously I don't know the numbers exactly, but what's going into that? Are you the one that is kind of like the mad scientist behind? Like you're the one coming up with the plans and the ideas, and so what's going into that? What do you want? What do you want to change?
Well, let me first tell you, man, I'm so fortunate to be back at LSU, right? So I love New Orleans, and I love the Saints, and I had a great job. Miss Gail is by far the best honor in professional sports, period. So I wasn't looking to leave, right? But, you know, Scott recruited me. I mean, and he recruited me pretty hard, and he came down to New Orleans, and we had coffee a couple of times, and his biggest thing was like, let me tell you what, I want to have the best sports medicine program in the country, bar none.
Love that.
So for me,
love that.
like that work in this environment, look, all these universities are going to get the best coaches, right?
Yeah.
They're going to go have the best facilities. They're going to do but, man, when you start talking about, man, I want to take care of our student athletes at an elite level, and I'll quote him here. He said, I want to be second to nobody. I said, I'm in. I'm in. So day one, when I got there, look, they're always upgrading at LSU, right? When I got there, it was like, man, there needs to be some changes to our training room. Like, we're in the day and age that we know recovery is key for our guys, right? We ask a lot out of them, not only athletically on the practice field, but, man, in the classroom. They're going to tutors. They're doing all of this stuff. So how are we going to help them be the best version of themselves? So, you know, there again, we did training camp when I was in New Orleans at Greenbrier, and Drew and Jimmy and a bunch of those guys spent time over in Virginia Beach where the SEALs train, and they were using this technology with float tanks, right, just to be able to decompress, to be able to go from they're on the mission or in training to, man, just decompress. And, You know, you look at some of the science behind the float tank as, man, that's a high salt content. You're just floating. But, man, if you can rest in there for an hour, that's equivalent to 3 to 4 hours of
It's
REM
like pitch
sleep.
black, right?
Wow.
Pitch black. It's sensory
Quiet.
deprivation. It's
gotta do that. I
amazing.
gotta do that. I
So
love that.
being able to bring that in, being able to have the cryo chamber, right? So I say this all the time, like, and you guys are a testimony to it, is, man, there's a lot of different ways to recover. You have to have options for guys. I could say, hey, here's a cold tub, jump in it. Man, Ochinga would be like, screw you, I'm not doing that. Are you kidding
No, that would
me?
be me. That's the whole 100% me. I'm that guy.
So, and there's a lot of guys.
Do I
So
get
you
to
got to
miss
have
practice?
options. So you have to have options, right? So we have the hot and cold tubs, but man, being able to bring in cryo chambers, 3 minutes, suck it up for 3 minutes, and man, you'll feel the benefit, right? So being able to do that, being able to have these Novathor, these red light beds to where, man, you actually going to have some regeneration happening and feel better. So just the whole nine, being able, we already bring in a yoga lady for our recovery days. We have a chiropractor that I sort of brought with me. He helps out at the Saints still, but he helps us out too, Stuart Fresh from the North Shore. And, you know, so having chiropractor, having yoga, and then Anna and her group over at Trifecta, bringing 4 or 5 of her massage therapists in to help take care of the guys. And then the Normatech, you know, Jack, I think, did a great job in designing the locker room. So there's an area for them to be able to lay down. But part of this new expansion, there's going to be a dark room, a sleep room.
Nap room, yeah.
There you go.
We're going to actually have a space to do sleep studies. So if you have like some sleep apnea stuff, we can actually find that out. We need to get you on a CPAP for a period of time. So we're trying to make sure that every aspect of recovery is taken care of.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been fun. We're actually in the middle of that, working with the architects, and we're working with the same group that helped us in New Orleans because we did a
That's
training
got to be huge for
renovation.
recruiting, right? Like that's got to be.
Oh,
You know, I mean, obviously, like, you know, when you're a high school kid getting recruited, like you want to come to college and you want to play at on the big stage and you want all the nice and shiny things, but like, you know, probably don't realize how important it is to have, you know, the prehab stuff and the stuff to make sure that you recover and that you don't get hurt. And then you go there and you see it and you're like, damn, okay. And then you start listening to, like, especially now, everybody's so health and like very vocal about what they're doing to stay healthy. You know, Russell Wilson says he spends $1 million+ on his body. LeBron James says the same thing, all this stuff. So now it's kind of like this new mainstream thing. And have this kid come in and say, man, this is the stuff LeBron and Russell Wilson are doing. Like,
To me, it's
I don't
funny.
need to do that.
Well, to me, it's
Yeah.
funny because what you're really saying, what I hear when I hear you speak about this stuff is that bells and whistles cool, but if I come in here as a recruit, you're paying attention to bettering me.
Yeah.
yep.
Why would I not want to choose a
Right.
place like that?
Well, look.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and look, I will never negatively recruit. We have a couple of schools that's negatively recruited against us and the training room. That's what blew me away. We had a kid that came in and said, "Hey, can you show me your cryo chamber? Can you show me this?" It's like, "No, I can show you. It's coming." He's like, "That's what the school told me, and if I don't see it now, that it won't be here." And I was like,
That's ruthless.
Well, it's
wow.
going to be right here. You see
"Oh
this.
wow,
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Right.
yeah." I'm like, "Wow," and you know, and in that same token, there again, I'll never speak badly, but being at the next level, right? We went to the combine every year. I know the schools that we red flagged because their kids were worn completely out.
Right.
And we had a list of those kids, and unless that was an elite guy, man, we were going to steer away from those
Right.
guys. So, you know, in talking to these kids, it's like, and I say it all the time, man, we treat you the person, not you the player.
Yep.
And there's a difference, right? Because, you know, I had the conversation with a lot of guys, and look, y'all have all retired from ball at this point, especially in football too. My goal is to do stuff like this, right? Like to have a relationship, because we're going to take care of you. Like if I cared about just you, the player, man, it may be a little bit different
Yeah,
story.
yeah, right.
But it's never about that. I want you to be able to be 40, 45 years old, running with your kids, playing with your kids. We're not going to shoot you up every game just to get you to play, and then all of a
Right.
sudden, you know,
There's a bigger picture. to
there
it.
is a way bigger picture.
Yeah.
Right.
No doubt.
Quality of life behind it, man.
100%, and that's kind of what I
caring
think.
for the person.
A lot of guys in the NFL, like part of what the union's fighting for is that they don't get that after football, right? And that's they're trying to help, and that's a big thing. He starts from the college level when you start really banging up against each other, and then it kind of leads into the NFL level. But I guess we'll stay on the recruiting pitch. People always talked about Brian Kelly not being able to recruit in Louisiana. How is his recruiting pitch been? Like, how is he as a recruiter with the kids? Is he, because people see him on TV, you're like, oh, he's red faced, he's this, and then you see him here, it's like I feel like he's starting to he's got the Louisiana has gotten to him. Like, damn, let's relax, good people.
What'd you
around
prescribe
here.
him? No.
But it seems like he's kind of made a turn, not necessarily as far as his way he coaches, but how he goes about his business, because it feels like Louisiana obviously is a little bit different than South Bend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And look, I think BK's great because I'll tell you this, his whole philosophy with recruiting, and the little that I've dealt with him with it has been man, let's develop relationships, because I want good kids who want to graduate, who want to do the right thing. And, that may not be the 5-star that's right here in Baton Rouge or that's right here in Louisiana. They don't have the character and the makeup, then they may not be for us. But, man, I want to develop relationships with them, and I want to get close to them, and I want to get close to their family. And, look, because his house is right there on the lakes, he's able to have all these kids at his house.
Because that's not
and
illegal
family.
anymore.
That's
No,
right.
That's not illegal anymore.
Oh, wow. That's
It used to
right.
be, but
Yeah.
not anymore.
Yep.
Yeah. So with that being said, he's cool, down to earth. Man, he's got a lot of confidence, but he's such a good person, right? I've dealt with a lot of people who are, cocky and confident, but are they good people? Do they really care? And I tell you, our players hang out with him some. They love him.
Yeah.
They love him.
Yeah. Do you miss baseball at all? Ever? I know you've been in football
I
for so
still
long.
live baseball.
Yeah.
I still live baseball. Look, I can tell you, so me and Drew got to be really, really close, but I think one of the reasons is because of my baseball background, right?
He loves baseball, right?
He loves baseball.
Kids are big on it too, right?
Oh,
He loves
yeah. That's all we talked about, Satchel Paige and, some of these older cats. Literally, I would all of a sudden get
Babe
a bat,
Ruth.
and it would be hey, I just saw this on auction, and it's a bat that was used in 1912. And it was so, yeah,
He was a
baseball
junkie.
Oh, big time.
I love
Big
that.
Ted
I like that
Williams.
too.
That's the reason
Wow.
we wore number 9.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Ted Williams still alive, right? You put him in the chamber. He's
That's
in the
right.
cryogenic chamber.
Get it back out there.
Him and Babe.
That's your next job.
But it's funny, but because of the relationship with Drew, I got to meet Tom House.
Right.
And Tom's a good friend of mine now. And so I still work with Tom and do stuff with Tom. And a lot of the stuff that we did with Drew, we're doing with our quarterbacks now at LSU.
Oh, wow.
So we've actually developed a developmental program for all of our quarterbacks based on most of Tom House's philosophy. So it's good. I talk to Tom all the time. He comes to Baton Rouge 2 times a year and holds clinic
Isn't
and
he
teaches
from around?
coaches.
He
No,
has a
Tom's-
connection down here or no?
No, I don't think he has a connection necessarily down here.
I thought
Was
I
he-
heard that, but no.
Was he decently tight with Moffitt at all?
No, I'll give you Tom will tell you this. He's most famous for catching Hank Aaron's home
really?
run. Right, he was a relief pitcher for 8 years.
I didn't know that.
In the major leagues,
Yeah.
and then turned around. He was a pitching coach. Nolan Ryan was the guy that he's sort of famous for helping take care of, and he's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. It's been awesome being able to work with him. But to tie that in, right? So he dealt with only baseball until Drew, and Drew hurt his shoulder back in '06 prior to coming to New Orleans, and Drew reached out to him, and he sort of did the throwing program as he was returning to play, and Drew was his first guy, and then that progressed to
Right.
Tom, and then all of a sudden he had 31 of the 32 quarterbacks. So that was still sort of,
That's crazy.
Well, he performed a miracle.
Well,
Like,
who was the only one he didn't have?
to be honest with you, I don't know. I just know he has.
If you're that
31 of
one
the
guy,
32.
it's not
Probably
going. They're
not
like, you probably do something wrong if you're the only
What are,
guy.
hey,
not
what are the
going
odds?
Tom House.
What are the odds of him being in the league still right now?
Not great.
Not
Not great, Bob.
I was assuming not great. And that was gonna be my next question. I know we've kept you here for a long time, so I'm not gonna ask too many more. But being around so many guys like Drew and like Kamara and all these guys that kind of have their guys, right? Like
and let me
train.
just tell you, Alvin's one of the smartest dudes you'll ever meet.
I bet.
I love that dude.
And that's what I
like,
was gonna get
you want to
to.
talk about uber talented, but man, he's so gifted in a lot of other things other than
Doesn't
just
surprise me at
football.
all.
Doesn't surprise me. You can
Doesn't
just
surprise
see it the way like how he talks and what he does and how he's just kind of like
You can tell because
You
he's
know.
just so mellow. Man.
Yeah.
Like, you can
He's just so confident in who he is.
right.
You know.
But he has his guy. He has his training. You see him balance and do all this stuff, and like that's got to be cool for you in being in sports medicine to be able to see these guys who are really good at what they do, and be able to meet them through the guys that you've made relationships with, and then learn from them, right? Like that's got to be a pretty cool
Absolutely.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I say this all the time. Like, I was always a little bit weird. Like, do you guys even remember me at the celebration after the national championship?
They don't remember a thing.
They don't, right? So I never will forget. So you guys flew back home. I flew to San Diego to go to a continuing ed course, right?
Oh, wow.
So there was always like this, man, how can I get better?
Yeah.
And probably the most beneficial thing to me is just being able to be around these people and learn from Tom, who I'm still learning from, and it's awesome, to, all of these physicians around the country, Kevin Wilk, PT in Birmingham, and, all of these subspecialties, from chiropractors in Minnesota to physical therapists and physicians and athletic trainers. And look, I think you got to be humble and willing to learn and get your ego aside, and it has been phenomenal for me.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you can tell. I'm looking forward to the football season. I'm looking forward to keeping the guys healthy, obviously. I'm looking forward to what the combination of BK and you and the new staff brings, the new breath of fresh air and just kind of new eyeballs. And so, Beau, man, you're the best.
It's great to be here.
I
man.
appreciate
Thanks
you
for
coming
having
on,
me.
man. This was
Yeah.
this was awesome. I'd love to have you back on whenever you want to come back on. This is part of what we try to do is we just want to have conversation. It's not an interview. It's more of just, hey, let's sit around and just talk ball. And I appreciate you for doing this. I know it's late at night and it's hard and you got a family, but
It's all good.
I appreciate
man.
it.
All good anytime.
We'll take a 30-second break. We're gonna gather up, say our goodbyes, or doing whatever. But you're watching Mik'd Up. We're brought to you by Sterling Automotive.
Wait, before you go, who's going to be the starting quarterback at LSU?
I don't even know.
It's going to be fun to watch.
They say the aches and pains are inevitable, that it's all downhill after 40. Well, I'm just getting started. Yeah.
Welcome back to Mik'd Up. We are brought to you by Sterling Automotive. We're just rolling through this thing. We're just going from interview to interview. I didn't know.
Sponsors are all over the screen. They
Yeah,
know what's
yeah,
happening.
yeah.
We got Heineken, we got Sterling
Yeah,
Automotive,
we
we got
got 'em all
Caesars,
there.
we got them all there.
We got
Thank
'em all
you
in there.
to Zeet Place, all
I
the
appreciate y'all for y'all support.
shirt partners.
Unbelievable interview. Beau's the man. He's great. But we don't. We will recap the interviews after this next one. Friend of the show, friend of ours, Paulie G in the
No
house.
doubt.
The newest New York Met. Welcome back, man. Welcome back to the show. Congratulations on fulfilling a lifelong dream.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. It was unique in the way it happened, that's for sure. But
Absolutely.
I wanted to lead this off by thanking you guys, first of all, for the platform you've given me for the past year to come out here and speak as like a member of the team, and just everything you guys are doing is great. And I just also wanted to apologize to Tiger Nation. I was premature the night before. I'll jump ahead on this. I was premature the night before. I was very emotional. I didn't know that you could get over slot on the third day. I was confused and didn't understand what was going on before I sent out that tweet. I loved LSU. I wanted to come back, but me and my family just felt like this was the best decision for me. So I wanted to go ahead and say that.
Listen, man, I appreciate that, but thank you for coming on here and being the guy you are. Thank you for grinding. Thank you for your story's awesome. And I'm sure that I'm the voice of the fans when I say this, that you do not need to apologize.
Hell no.
For that, because, you know, we've had some conversations off air, and this is a dream that you've been trying to fulfill for a really long time. And things don't always go the way that you anticipate them to go as far as the draft. And there's always surprises. And, you know, you had your mind set on one thing, and you were able to get what you wanted. And you didn't do anybody a disservice. You know, at this point, it's up to you, and it's your decision, and it's something that you've always looked forward to. And so I think that I'm in the majority when I say that you don't owe the Tiger fans an apology. I think everybody is extremely, extremely excited for you, and they cannot wait to watch you make your journey to the big leagues, because I think that, you know, you have a real shot to get there and, you know, to do something special, man. So appreciate you for your kind words, but I just want to thank you for coming on here and being so awesome. And thanks for your energy on the mound, bro. You were great.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, so we got all the apologies out, and we got all like the sentimental stuff out. How did it go? Tell me how the draft went. You know, obviously you went through day 2. You thought you were probably going to get picked in day 2. You were talking about it, and, you know, I'm sure you got plenty of phone calls, and maybe the number wasn't right. And then you go to day 3. What were your emotions when you started feeling like, oh man, I may be signing?
Yeah. So day 2, man, I got calls from 22 different teams.
Wow.
And all of them on day 2, it was from between rounds 5 and 10. Phone was ringing. But on day 2, a lot of teams are looking for the underslot senior signs for like 10K, 20K, like all the very low slots. So for me, 10K, 20K is not keeping me away from LSU.
Right.
Like I loved LSU. Like I was perfectly fine with going back. And I did panic a little bit through the end of the day because I didn't know. I was like, oh wow, is this it? Like, cause you know, I told you, Mikey, like I want to be a pro. I wanted to be a pro. So I was like, oh, like realizing that I might be going back.
Right.
And then after day 2, I was like, oh well, I guess I'm going back because I'm not getting anything on day 3.
Let me fire off this tweet.
I fired off a tweet that I probably shouldn't have fired off. And the next day, all these
Tiger
teams
droppings was a flame.
calling my advisor saying like, hey, are you done? Like, are you off? And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, you know, you can still sign for a slot on day 3. And I was like, oh. So then I talked to a lot of guys that day. I talked to Mikey, talked to Ben McDonald, talked to Jay a few times, and obviously talked to my family, prayed a lot about it. And my biggest thing was to make a team show me that they value me. Like they're going to have to come up to where I'm at in order for me to agree to sign. And Mets did that. I was very appreciative of them. That's really cool. It's a dream come true. And I had a very emotional phone call with Coach Johnson. You know, everybody knows how great he is, man.
And that's what I wanted to get into that. And you don't have to give the details, but how'd that conversation go? What went into that conversation? And you know, as much as you can give, obviously you don't have to give all the details.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just feel like I owe it to him, man. Like everything he's given me in this past year, the opportunities he's given me. Like I feel like I owed it. I felt like I owed it to him after kind of like the day before, probably making making it feel like, oh yeah, he's coming back.
Right.
Well, he definitely felt like that. But and then when I had to tell him the next day, he was just like he understood. He was gracious. He said he wanted me back, but he said he wants what's best for me and my future, and that I'll of course always be welcome back around the field and facilities to work out and train.
And that's really all you can ask for, right? And I know we had this conversation, and I told you is like, going into the draft, you have a number in your mind, right? Everybody talks about what's your number, right? I'm not asking what's your number. I don't want to know your number, any of that stuff. But everybody going into the draft says,
Telling my girlfriend.
everybody goes into the draft with that in their mind, and hey, this is the number that is going to take me to leave, right? And as the draft gets going, some guys start to panic and start to feel like, well, I'm not getting picked yet. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get my number. And then some teams will take advantage of that and draft you and say, okay, we're going to give you this. And it's going to be under your number. And a guy will sign because they feel like they're going to miss their opportunity, right? And, what I told you is the best thing you can do is have your number in your head and say, this is the lowest number I'm going to sign for. And if they don't get to that, then that is your promise to you and the coaching staff and whoever, like, I'm going to go back, right? Like, that's your word. And, that's what I told you. I was like, you shouldn't worry about this because, if they get to it, which they did, you're going to have the opportunity to fulfill the dream that you've been working so hard for that is very hard to achieve. And, I think that you handled it the right way. You've been very genuine and gracious through everything. And so, it's a stressful time. I get that. I understand that. Did you have family and friends with you during the draft, like during that process?
Yeah, I did too. Everybody, all my family, a bunch of friends were there, and phone kept ringing. Saying no, sticking to my guns. I will go back to school if I don't get my number. That's what I was set on. And that day, obviously, I was a little bit disappointed because I thought for sure I was good enough to be taken on that day. But then I realized, like, that's not what it's about. It's about teams are going to try to get guys for as little amount of money as they can.
Yep.
And if you can stick to your guns and hold out, the next day they're going to show you how much you actually mean to them. Because, the luxury tax, if you go over a certain number on the third day, that's where you can.
Right.
That's for me. That's what showed me that the Mets value me, and that's why I'm very content to sign here, and very content with the time I had at LSU.
At the end of the day, you are what they want, right? You are the asset. You are the person, so you have to value yourself, and you want the team that values you, and obviously the Mets showed that, and you're able to sign and do that. So, have they told you what their plan is for you as far as like, signing and getting on and moving on to their organization?
Yeah, I'm in my cousin's wedding this weekend, so nice. I got to do that, and then on Monday I'm going down to Florida to Port St. Lucie to start up like rookie ball camp, sign the contract, do all that stuff. I don't really know how all that looks, so I'll probably be talking to you again shortly, Mike.
Anything you need, man.
Oh, you don't want to talk to me? Come on, dude. Let me negotiate this thing.
Lloyd, I'm going to just have you run my Twitter account. I need to stay off that.
I would have done the same thing. I'm coming back as a starter.
Are they going to send you to a rookie ball? Like, after you sign, like, I know you're going to like get like a ramp up probably to get your arm back in. Well, you've been pitching really all summer, right?
Yeah, I pitched in the Cape League. I threw 11 innings in the Cape.
Yeah,
but,
so
hey, let me tell you guys, Grant Taylor, special.
I look, his numbers look amazing.
Huge. Oh my God, he dominated everybody.
Was he throwing cheese?
That dude. Oh, he was sitting 4 to 6 for 6 innings.
Oh, love that.
Like,
I think Wes Johnson's gonna like that one
next year. Oh yeah, he did. He came to one of our games, and Grant went 6 innings, like 4 hits, 12 punchies, no walks.
Wow.
No wonder you went pro.
Against like, the best hitters, like across the country. I never said
yeah.
So no wonder you went pro, dude. After seeing that, like, I got to get out of here.
But yeah, I would imagine you would go down to St. Lucie, you would sign, you get a little ramp up period, and maybe they, depending on what their plan is. They'll probably want you to go pitch a little bit in short season or something just to get some innings under your belt to kind of feel how minor league ball works. But you're a redshirt junior, right?
Right.
Yeah. So basically, they're gonna go. I think that what I would assume is they're probably going to put you in there. You perform well, you show that you can handle it, and you keep moving up until you go. Just because there's nothing. You don't need to stay in the lower levels for that long. Now, obviously, I'm not in an organization. I'm just making assumptions. But that's what I would think that they would do for you. But St. Lucie's not a bad spot. You get to play, there's a lot of teams around that area, so you don't have to travel too much in spring training, which is going to be nice. Florida spring training is a lot of travel. You're going to get to back up you're going to get to back up some big league games. And, boy, just make sure you have your AirPods. And make sure your iPad or your iPhone is charged, because going up from St. Lucie to like Lakeland or Tampa, it's about a 3-hour drive. So it's gonna be grinders, but it's fun. It's fun. Spring training will be fun.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. That's for sure.
Couple more questions. Do you have any questions?
Oh no, I just wanted to set this set the scene a little bit for if people don't know, and I feel like they do because your story is pretty well documented. But for you to be able to go from Division III baseball as a walk-on, find your way to LSU, and then get drafted, like for anybody that's giving you shit or is like, I can't believe he wants to do this after he said whatever. But for you to be able to have this opportunity, I don't think people realize that at some point in your life, like you'd played baseball forever and you never thought this was going to come. And for you to be able to get your name called, get to your number, like how can anybody ever say anything to you about what your decision is or whatever? Because this is a lifelong dream that you thought was probably never going to be realized at one point in your life, and now here you are. So I just want to congratulate you personally on that, because that's unbelievable, the grind that you showed.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Lloyd. You're the man.
Thank you, sir.
What's that?
The Southern Miss Twitter thing.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even talk about that.
We did not talk about that. Look,
after the regional.
I did not mean to set you up that way. And honestly, you didn't even say anything bad. They were just looking for anything.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about Arizona. We were just saying how cool it would be because Coop played there. We weren't talking about skipping Southern Miss.
No. I mean, obviously, if you're not looking forward to maybe hosting, then what are you playing for? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
They were trying to do anything.
I held it down that weekend pretty nicely.
You did. I appreciate that. We backed you up. We had you back. We had your back. But last question, really, before I let you go, and I know it's we've been dragging this on, but what are you looking forward to most? Obviously, moving on to professional baseball, and what are you going to miss most about playing here in LSU?
I'd say what I'm going to miss the most, man, it's a lot of things, man. Obviously, my teammates got to be number one. Those are all my best friends. Just spending every day in the locker room, out there at practice, and in the games with those guys is awesome. And I'm so thankful for them. I told them it was the best season I've ever had in my life. Like, I had so much fun. And then, obviously, the fans, the atmosphere, the joy of getting to play at LSU that a lot of kids, especially from my area in North Carolina, don't know what it's like to play in front of that many fans in a college baseball game. So I would say those two things especially. And then, of course, I'll miss all my coaches that contributed. Coach Kelly, he was great for me. Coach Johnson, obviously, I thank him for trusting me in every big situation pretty much for the whole year. I would say all that stuff I'm definitely going to miss about LSU. And then, obviously, the show. For sure. But,
oh, you'll be back.
Hey, you can be back. Listen, the show's always here, man. You can be the show from anywhere. So we're going to miss you coming in studio. But, look, video call now, man. Technology's crazy. You can do whatever. You act like you're here.
Oh, yeah, we love it. Yeah, but as for looking forward to pro ball, I'm just looking forward to going out there and competing against the best players in the world from all different countries. Just going out and showing that what I have plays at every level. Yep. And going out there and trying to be the best version of myself to hopefully eventually get to the big leagues and hopefully win a World Series.
Yeah, just bring it back to LSU real quick. You mentioned Grant, play with them in the Cape. Is there anybody else, maybe somebody that was a freshman that's going into sophomore like Grant, that LSU fans should keep an eye on next year?
Yeah, I would say Cale Lansville for sure. He hurt his shoulder. I don't think he was ever 100% in the fall or the spring. He hurt his shoulder. He's been rehabbing. He's been working his butt off. I've been talking to him. I think he's going to go out there and have a big year, put up really big numbers this year. And I think Tiger fans are going to love what they see from him next year.
Natty or bust for LSU?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's got to be, dude. Like, that's part of the reason why this decision was so hard, man, because I feel like I come back, I'm getting a ring.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's why that's part of what made it so difficult. But no, they're loaded. You look everywhere. They're loaded. Everything they lost looks like they picked up. Would we get like 7 out of the top 10 players in the transfer portal?
Yep.
Something like that.
Something crazy.
Like, it's got to be natty or bust. And which, yes, LSU fans, it's natty or bust every year.
That's what it should be.
Especially this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Wait, how nervous were you walking into Jay Johnson's office or giving him a phone call? Did you feel like you were about to talk to the principal? Were you like that feeling in your stomach?
Yeah, I had a really I was very nervous.
Hey, he was sweating it. He was sweating it.
No doubt. But I imagine
I just didn't.
Go ahead.
Like I said, like, he's been so good to me, and I just didn't want to like disappoint him or like let him down, because that's my guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but I mean, he understood and he was very gracious, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. What makes Jay Johnson so good is he's got a lot of awareness and savvy about it. He understands the situations. And
great field guy.
Exactly.
Well, and I think that just to like kind of build off of that for LSU fans, that's something that you want to hear, that a guy has like gotten the number that he wants in a Major League Baseball draft, and he's still in his mind's like, I don't want to disappoint a coach that's not even your coach anymore, essentially. Like, it shows what Jay Johnson's building here, and that's like unbelievable news if you're an LSU fan.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, it's everything he's been doing, everything he's been building. It's nice to hear it, obviously, from somebody that played under him and have that type of respect. And it's just, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun future. I know, obviously, Paulie G, you're gonna be listening, watching, keeping up with him, and watching your boys play. But, dude, you have a fan in me, lifelong fan. I will follow your career. Obviously, I'm only a phone call away. If ever you need anything, I know you have a lot of people in your corner. But if there's ever any advice, one piece of advice: don't call anybody coach in the minor leagues. It's all about first name basis.
All right.
All first name basis.
I
No coach. Skip, manager Skip, or whoever, and whatever their name is. Names. No coaches. They'll make fun of you. That's my word.
Because I would have done that as soon as I got there.
Yeah, well, look, we've all done it. I did it. I've done it. Jared Mitchell's done it. Everybody's done it. I didn't know. Now you know. Going in. Hey, don't do that.
Is that a real picture behind you, or is that a stock photo? It looks like it's from Hallmark. What is that?
Oh, that's my family.
It's a real family? Okay, nice.
That's my real family.
Paulie, dude, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you coming and talk to us. We're going to have you on again, obviously, in pro ball, following your career. But, man, enjoy this time. Have fun at the wedding this weekend. Good luck with your signing. And then, we'll stay in touch, and hopefully I'll see you in the fall.
No doubt. I'll definitely come around in the fall. I got to make
Absolutely.
another trip down there for a football game.
Absolutely.
LGM.
All right. Thank you guys for
LGM.
everything once again.
Yep. Thank you, bro. Good luck.
All right.
All right, man. Later. Love me some Paulie G, man.
How can you not?
Great dude. Great dude. He's super worried about it too, and not in like a bad way. Like, he was just wanted to make sure.
Angsty.
He just wanted to make sure that he just didn't want to upset anyone. That just shows you how good of a guy he is,
Absolutely.
And if you're upset with that, then
you don't have a pulse.
You're selfish.
Yeah.
Because that's not he did everything right. He didn't anticipate. It was an emotional day for him. Like, he didn't think that he was going to be able to sign, and then he was able to, and he got what he wanted. And that's what else you have to. What else he wanted to do?
Imagine you in the day and age of Twitter, if you were able to, the way that your draft which was obvious, very tumultuous, you would, the first thing anybody would be like, fuck it, I'm coming back.
Right.
I'm going to go prove everybody
Right.
wrong. I have a list of now however many teams that didn't draft me are on my,
Right.
I'm about to come back and start
Come
jumping.
back,
Yeah.
and all the guys that were young in 2010 or 2011 were going to be older, and they're going to be better, and Gosman was going to be there. Aaron Nola was there. Elsa Nola came back. Our team was going – Jacoby was there. We were going to be stacked. And so, come back. Let me go win another national championship. I didn't get to make the postseason my junior year. And then, we were able to negotiate enough to where I got the number where I needed it to be and go. And, obviously, going in, like I didn't have a set number really. That year, it was just more about getting the most for my value, and but at one point I didn't think I was gonna get that point, and so I thought I was gonna come back. And like I said, it took me. I signed with 8 minutes left in until the deadline. Like,
On August 1st?
August 15th, like at the time of
I think
midnight.
it's August 1st now.
Is it August 1st now?
Yeah.
But back then it was August 15th. I signed at supposed to be midnight. I signed at 11:57. 11:55. Like that's what it was. That's when we came to agreement.
Like literally pen to paper?
Well, it's like you can do like an electronic signature. Like obviously
so
you don't have
it's
the
not as
contract
cool.
in front of you when you do it. But
It's hard to like get the electronic signature to be what you want it to look like.
But then you sign in person, like.
How'd you
real
do
signature.
on the contract? Like that's the signature you've been practicing your whole life.
Well, it's the same. My signature on contract is the same signature that I've been practicing my whole life for baseball.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you have good ones and bad ones. Like you're like ooh.
Oh, dude! At that point, like I signed so much, like it was second
Cake.
nature. It's all about the pen too.
That
Easy pen, good.
bring your own pen?
No, not bring my own pen. I got this.
Yeah. I've been waiting for this day.
No, but I'm happy for him, man. He deserves it.
Absolutely.
It's good, Good back-to-back interviews right there.
Good show.
Great show so far. We still got 20 minutes left, 40 minutes left. These guys are chatting away over there.
Just chatting it away, not realizing what we're doing. It seems like they'd have a little bit more feel, especially.
Chatty Cathy.
Yeah, especially.
Maybe-
Which one?
Maybe they don't feel it. Maybe they don't think that we can hear them. We can
Yeah.
definitely hear them.
Oh no, I think it's going well.
Yeah, it's going well.
Good
Hope
for
it goes
them.
well.
I hope it goes well.
But we'll wait till they get back in to really start talking football again. But
Maybe we talk a little draft.
yeah, I was about to say I was gonna go through the draft.
At this point, you pretty much know who's going to sign and who's not, except for Carter Young.
Can we close that door? Like
No, the desk is right there, so I can't move the door.
Okay.
I tried.
Oh,
I looked.
well. That's okay. What's that?
So the only one that's really unclear is Carter Young.
We got a lot of noises coming in the background. We got
Yeah.
fire
There's
trucks.
nothing I can do.
No, it's not you. I mean, you can't stop the fire truck.
I mean, I
Hey,
caused
can
the
you
fire.
please turn the alarm off? I mean, the siren off, please.
Yeah.
Oh, literally, drive
Hopefully,
down the street.
hopefully don't hit my goddamn truck flying down there.
But yeah, obviously Paulie G's gone, Regiment's gone. Obviously, Pineda's gone.
Tabrake.
Brock, he's gone.
I mean, we
I
knew
mean,
that.
we knew
when
that.
I
We
was
knew
right.
that
I mean,
when
that
we-
was the most.
He's probably gone as an undrafted free agent if he didn't get drafted.
Well, yeah, I don't. He must hate. I mean, I'm with him.
No, he's been in
School-
college for 4 years.
Yeah,
dude.
school
Like,
stinks.
He's ready.
But
Carter Young, out of all the transfers that got drafted, I think would have the best chance of coming back.
Because he has a lot to prove.
Yeah, I think
'Cause,
he's
I
17th
mean-
round. He's a good defender. He's a switcher. He didn't hit great this year. I think he
Yeah.
has. I think that'd be a great addition to the middle infield. You could allow Gavin Dugas. He's coming
Guidry.
back too. Gavin Guidry to kind of get
Player
acclimated.
utility
unless
role.
he earns his way like from the jump, but.
He can kind of be like, because I mean, he's like from high school. He can play all three spots: second, short, thirds. Maybe he's your utility guy. Maybe he might DH, might win the
Yeah.
DH job. I mean, or he
Yeah.
can just get those innings late in games.
Kind of do what Pearson did.
Yeah.
Like just kind of like ease his
Easier
way
way.
into the lineup and get some at bats, and then
If somebody
kinda-
gets hurt, you feel
Yep.
comfortable putting him in there.
for sure. But then you got Dugas, Floyd, and Joe Barrett all didn't get drafted, so they're all coming back. And you got as far as the recruits that are coming, Paxton Kling, obviously he took his name out of the draft, big get. Gavin Guidry, big get. Micah Bucknam, Caleb Appleby, Aiden Moffitt, Griffin Herring, Jared Jones, and Brady Neal. Like a lot of these guys,
And Ethan Frey.
and Ethan Fry. A lot of these guys, people didn't think they were probably going to come.
It's a big catcher class.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what we needed.
big catcher. Brady Neal's the number 2 catcher in the country. Jared Jones, number 4 catcher in the country. And
High
Frey-
school catcher or like
Yeah.
over? Okay, high school catcher.
And Frey is the number 1 catcher in Louisiana. All big time guys.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a packed catcher room.
well, it's at a position of need. It feels like, don't you?
Position of
Yeah.
need, and as far as catchers, like
I mean, you have Milazzo and Travinsky coming back, and then the 3 guys. You got 5
five
for the
catchers.
fall.
Wow.
Now Neal and Jones both play other positions as well, but they're mainly catchers.
Right, but,
so they could potentially get.
Yeah, what
some
I'm saying is
highlights.
like you still
Can
get
you
some at
play
bats
more
at
than
first.
one catcher at once?
Yeah, we did that in 2009 with Micah Gibbs and Sean.
No, I'm saying at once. Like, can you put 2 back there?
What
Why not?
do you mean?
It's just like the shift. I can't shift another catcher over there.
Why
One
would you
catcher.
do that?
Just like, can you have 2 pitchers?
I only one ball.
That's a very
Gotta-
good point.
Yeah.
But you could have put 2 pitchers and you don't know who's going to throw the ball.
They'd step off, toss it over.
No, obviously you can't do that. But I mean, you have like first base, DH. Like you have other positions that they can
trade
play.
it first.
Yeah, but for one more year.
Yeah, that
You know
DH.
what I mean? You have these freshmen. They don't have to play as a freshman.
Yeah. Oh, I'm talking about just in general. That DH spot next year is going to be pretty packed with Dugas, Joe Bear. If they're not in the outfield, they're going to be fighting for the DH spot, and Beloso's coming back.
Yep.
And
I mean, it's
the whole
good
freshman class.
These are all good problems to
Yeah,
have.
good problems.
You know, you have a lineup of a roster full of guys that you want to put in the lineup, and that's a good thing. Now, obviously, things happen. You know, injuries happen, slumps happen, things happen, right? You don't want to see those, but they do. It doesn't just go like, hey, this is gonna be the line. Very rarely do you have the first starting lineup of the season last the entire year. Very rarely does that happen.
But your team's
I
the
can't
biggest
remember the last
testament to
time
that of all time, maybe, at LSU. Wouldn't you
9?
say? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't start in the lineup. Nola didn't start in the lineup. Hanover didn't, but he got in there pretty early. Who else?
Wasn't there a
in
big
the lineup?
outfield switch?
There's a lot of switches. So like, they weren't in the lineup, and then you got a bunch of different guys in different spots. Leon was in the lineup. They took him out the lineup at some point. Jay Mitch was in left, moved to right. I was in right, moved to center when I got in. DJ was at short, moved to second. Sean played first majority of the time. Schimpf played some second, moved to left. To DH to first sometimes.
Palmineri was just chessboarding.
Nola played short. Hanover played third, and then they took Hanover out and put Helene back at third in the postseason. Like, it's just you have a lot. You just have a lot of moving. You have mixes and matches, and like that was the one year that we had a lot of guys you could put in. You know, and they had that coming in.
I was about to say, I feel like Jay Johnson's built a team very similar to that. When hearing Paulie G say it's like good pulse on the team and good feel, like you're probably going to see a lot of these kind of changes happen throughout the year, where it's like, all right, that's a lot of what a manager does. Is like you kind of you could base off matchups, but a lot of it's based off of feel, and it feels like Jay Johnson is one of those guys to where there'll probably be moments where he overcalculates or whatever, and it's like, oh, I shouldn't have made that move. You're not going to be 100% all of the time, but he's going to get this team right by the time it's regional,
SEC
super
play
regional.
Well, here's the
play.
deal: is like outfield, you have unbelievable depth in the outfield right now, right?
Well, Cruz is at center, and that's that.
I think Cruz and Pearson are both locks.
I agree, but then you have Stevenson that's had some time. Do you like him? You have
Joe
Dugas.
Bear.
You have Joe Bear.
Kling.
We have Kling, Paxton Kling, who's just a recruit, right? Infield is probably the one where you don't have as much depth, but you still have a lot of guys that can fill the spot. If you decide that you want to move
Tommy to third.
Tommy to third or first and move Trey to the outfield, that's another outfield spot. You have a lot of depth behind the dish. You obviously have depth on the mound. You know, I think what's interesting to me is you see all these recruits coming in, right? These transfers, all these guys, like, hey, we need new starters, Grant Taylor feels like he went in the summer and said, hey, oh yeah, watch this. You need starters? You got an ace right here. Let me show you. Going to the Cape and now I'm shoving it up their ass? Like, yes. Give me the ball. And that's what you want to see.
And Thatcher is an ace pitcher, but now you just might have two of them.
I mean, look, you can't have
enough.
Yeah, you can't have enough aces. You have them two.
And
Ty
Christian
Floyd came on late in the year.
Little's potential is first
Like
round
you
stuff.
have the potential to do what Vandy used to do, where you have three guys get drafted in the first, second round in your weekend rotation, and your midweek guy gets drafted in the top 3 rounds. Like Vandy used to do it all the time.
Yeah, you saw it happen. I mean, literally back-to-back years when they had Jack Letter go and now Kumar Rocker go. Rocker went third overall, and Jack Letter went second overall in back-to-back years after.
Well, in the same year they
Rocker.
went 2 and I think 8
Yeah,
or 10?
2 and 7 or
2
2 and 10.
10.
Yeah, I would say 10.
And he turned it down. But then when I came out, you had Sonny Gray went 17th overall.
Nasty.
And you had Grayson Garvin, who was better than him. He was SC Pitcher of the Year, got drafted 60th. He was in the first supplemental round by Tampa. My first roommate in pro ball. Awesome guy. They both 6'6", big lefty, like awesome. Their third guy went second round. 2010, you could look at 2011, same year, but 2010 we played UCLA. 2011, you had Garrett Cole went 1 overall, and you had Trevor Bauer went 3 overall, same draft. Plus, their Sunday guy got drafted in 2010, and he was a second rounder. So, like, it's just you have that potential now to have those guys in the rotation. Now, obviously, you had the best rotation LSU's had as far as talent goes. I think in the recent memory was when you had 2012. Gosman was the first top 5, 6 pick. Aaron was a freshman, and you had Ryan Eads. Eads went in the second round, and you had 2 top 5, 2 top 6 guys in the rotation. So, like, that's real stuff right there.
The last good one I remember was when Eric Walker was a freshman before he had Tommy John. It was Lang. Was it Lang, Poche, him?
Yeah, but like, so those guys were really good pitchers, right?
Yeah.
But like, as far as pro talent, pro talent stuff, like you have, I mean, probably 2012 was the last time you had like the 3 elite
like
stuff
the draft
guys.
professional
right.
guys.
I would say this year's probably that.
You have the potential this year to do that, and then you have guys in the back of the pen like
Thatcher's a projected top 5 guy. Little could go in the first, and if Grant's a draft eligible sophomore, so
Is he?
So if he makes big noise this year, he could go. Which kind of sucks for us, but like it's good for him.
What?
But you got depth now. Ty
Yeah.
Floyd has a chance
Yeah.
to make a big jump. You know,
What did y'all see this coming from Grant Young from
Grant Taylor.
Yeah,
Taylor,
I knew.
sorry.
I had.
I knew he had it.
I knew
you could
because
see
he
it.
could throw gas. I was like, if he can develop a little off speed and control the fastball more, he could be a definite stud. I mean, he
see
throws
that he
97
had it.
miles an hour.
Yeah.
Right,
That
I just
plays.
don't feel like he was the impact guy that you kind of expected.
Well, he just
And
didn't,
then
he
to
just
hear
didn't
what
have a lot of. I mean, he had some opportunity, but like it's he's a freshman. It takes a
I mean,
little time.
He threw well at Florida, and that was the first time
Right.
you kind of saw him. Was like, oh, this guy can throw, and
Yeah.
you just knew he had to mature a little bit. Obviously, he went to the Cape and did
he
well.
gets to come back and work with Wes Johnson.
Yeah.
What do you think Wes Johnson did when he saw that?
Holy shit. Call Jay. You didn't tell me about this one, Ken.
Don't FaceTime me.
I mean, it's very exciting, very, very, very exciting.
And Chase Shores.
Yeah,
coming, too. We
forgot
missed
about
him in
Chase
the
Shores.
freshman list.
Yeah,
We missed him because he did it like earlier than the rest of the guys.
right.
Well, he was the first domino. Almost,
He was the
it
first
felt
one
like.
to pull his name out.
After
Well,
Paxton
besides
Flynn.
Paxton, like during the draft, he was the first one to say, "I'm good."
And then you have
It's
when you
exciting.
look at shortstop, obviously did they lose Pineda to the
Yeah.
draft?
He'll
be
gone. You got Thompson.
Carter Young probably has
Carter
a
Young,
chance
yeah.
to come. I don't know if he's
But
going to turn
that's
out.
what makes me ask if Gavin Guidry is somebody that is obviously Barb, Louisiana. You heard Jay Johnson pitch essentially the recruiting pitch that he would give to Gavin on this show. And I'm wondering if that is a possibility as a true freshman to come in and play.
For sure.
Yeah,
Now listen,
and he's talented enough to do it. He's a two-way guy too. He pitches.
He
yeah,
pitches.
there's only a handful of guys
He'll
that
probably
you can,
quit that.
you can
No,
count.
he's gonna two-way at LSU.
I mean, if he throws hard enough.
Jay
he can
Jay
do
said it in a press conference once or an interview that he's gonna be a two-way at
Who's the
LSU.
last two-way guy?
that. LSU,
Yeah.
Chad.
That barely counts, though, because you rarely saw
Well,
it.
you don't really have many, but like you're able to do it. Ryan Eads came in as a two-way guy actually. He's a hitter, pitcher, obviously. Pitcher was
And he's
but
a legit two-way.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At
Like
some
not
point,
not
now
like a hitter that can pitch. Like he's
yeah.
he's
Now
a
it's more
two-way.
mainstream. Like now, like you see Otani. There's been a few guys in professional baseball that do two-way. It's hard. You had a bunch of guys. You had Buster Posey was a two-way guy at Florida State. Matt Wieters was a two-way guy at Georgia Tech.
Jameis,
I mean, yeah, I guess, but
three-way guy.
three-way guy.
On and off.
But listen, there's only a handful
Got
of
himself in
guys.
trouble.
There's only a handful of guys that in recent memory that you can say, okay, he's going to step onto campus and he's going to start from day one, right? Like from the minute he walks onto campus, he's going to be a starter. He doesn't have to show you anything. Like DJ LeMahieu, Alex Bregman, as position
Cruz.
players I'm talking about, not necessarily just pitcher, but DJ LeMahieu, Alex Bregman, Dylan Cruz. Like those guys, when they stepped onto campus, you knew they were going to start and they were going to be hitting the middle lineup. Like they just knew it because that's how good they were and how advanced they were, right? I don't know enough about Gavin to be able to make that determination, but
I don't know if he's on there. Like if he plays, he'll play well. I just don't know. I mean, it really depends. Like if Carter Young comes,
it takes some time.
Yeah.
Listen, I wasn't ready. Like I was by no means ready to step onto campus and play. But it takes some time once you get the opportunities and you take advantage of it.
I think
Just kinda run with
I think Paxton's probably closer to those guys than Gavin. Of like ready to play day one.
How did your first practices go? Like when were you like, I'm in the fire, I hope I don't play this year? Or was it like
It was never I hope I don't play.
Right.
It was
don't put me in lineup week one.
no, it was like, oh shit. But it wasn't even hitting. I was on defense and Maneri. I never told you this story. Maneri was right behind me in right field. And I was all pride of my defense was never an issue, ever. Run down balls, like whatever. So I was playing right, and he was like probably 4 or 5 feet behind me, and he was in my ear the entire practice about going after balls, not going after balls, and like I was rattled, dude. I was like running all over the place, and I would stop because I couldn't get to it, and I'd come back, and I was out of breath, and like the minute practice ended, I've told you a story, I don't think you remember, but the minute practice ended, Ronaldo was in the outfield. He didn't know me yet. First full team practice, walks around, puts his arm around my shoulder, 6'7", and he's like, he tapped me on the head, and he's like, it's all right, man. He's like, just moved you to the outfield? Like, you're just making that transition from the infield to the outfield? I'm like, no, bro, I've played outfield my whole life. And he goes, all right, it'll get better. It's okay. And he just kept going. I'm like, and I'm like, oh, my God. And then Coach called me that night, told me, he's like, hey, you know, I just want to put pressure on you because, you know, I want you to be able to work through that in the game. There's going to be a ton of pressure on you and all these types of things. You did great today, whatever. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But then my first scrimmage, the first guy I had to face in the first scrimmage was Lewis Coleman. I'm like, well, this sucks. This guy's throwing from the dugout. Like, he's cross-body, sidearm, behind me at 94. And I'm like, hit the ball like 7 inches in front of home plate. Like, barely tapped
it off the black of the bat.
Shit. And I'd run down the line hard, and I got thrown out by 50 feet. You know, it's like, damn. But I never thought that I couldn't play. It was always like, okay, let me figure this thing out. Yeah, like, take some time. Luckily, I didn't have to come in there, and like I didn't have to play right away. You know, and then
It's funny that Paul felt like you might, though. Like, he wouldn't do that to just anybody, right? Like, you don't go stand in right field.
He knew that I had the ability, the talent. He just knew that I was raw, and that he wanted to like. He likes to test you and like to see how to motivate you and how like what makes you tick. And for me, it was getting him out, kind of challenging me a little bit, you know. And so, I mean, I didn't have a good. I worked my ass off during Christmas break to come back in and try to make that jump because I knew Chad was going to be in football for a little bit. Like, I need to show him my first 8 at bats I struck out. I don't even think I foul tipped the ball.
Just taking
and I'm
hacks.
like, oh my God. Like, he thinks I probably didn't do anything, but I've been working my ass off, you know. And it's one of those things. And, you know, the only reason I made the travel roster is because I could run and I could play defense. So I could always I could always rely on that, like a pinch run or, you know, defensive replacement. But he wasn't going to rely on me as a bat. And then he made a point one time. We struggled against Harvard in midweek, and everybody was lackadaisical. And he made a very conscious point to say, hey, you know what? We're going to play people who really want to play. Put me in the lineup that day, I had 2 homers, and never came out the lineup again. And that's kind of how it works. But I wasn't one of those guys that stepped in the lineup and said, okay, I'm going to play from day one.
Bro, we got bugs in here. I don't know
Start
what's
cleaning
going
up,
on.
dude.
I took the trash out.
It's your spot, I think. All right, we're going to take like a 30-second break, regroup. Jay Mitch just got back in from his conversating. And we'll get back. You're watching Mik'd Up, brought to you by Sterling Automotive.
Disappointing.
Austin Bain was a 2A at LSU.
If that was an accidental 2-way.
Yeah.
Did he actually 2-way or was it 1-way first and then?
Yeah, it was more of like a
one-way and then
one than the other.
We're they know.
Who is that?
Because Gavin,
Did you
Gavin Gidges
put us on break? Mik'd Up is brought to you by Law Offices of Lance Beal. Call them today, 337-991-6263. They know what it takes to win. Their practice areas include personal injury, small business, family law, estate planning, with an emphasis in construction law. Your choice for reliable representation. 337-991-6263. Today's show is brought to you by Dos Equis. Here in Louisiana, we like to have a great time. If you're looking to be the life of the tailgate, check out Dos Equis mini kegs. Hold 16 beers, easy to tap, easy to pour, easy to chill. Check it out. Become a life of the party. You're welcome. Our What's for Lunch segment is brought to you by Doe's Eat Place. Maybe the best burger in town. If you're not looking for lunch, you're looking for dinner, go check out Doe's Eat Place. They have unbelievable choice of meats. They have unbelievable tamales. They have a great atmosphere, great vibes. If you're looking for a homey Louisiana type of atmosphere, but you're looking for high quality food, Doe's Eat Place is your spot. Go in the back bar, sit at the bar, have a couple drinks, watch some games, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the vibes. Check out Doe's Eat Place, the best place in Baton Rouge to get your meats.
At Rejuvame, we specialize in medically monitored hormone replacement therapy, giving you the energy you need for all life's challenges. We can help get your day started. 1, 2, 1, 2. We can help with those long work days, and we can even make your nights longer. Rejuvame. Let us be your age-defying clinic. Restore me, refuel me, Rejuvame.
Welcome back to Mik'd. We're brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Lloyd just found something in this Rejuvame commercial. It's the same guy, not the owner of Rejuvame.
No, I noticed that one
Chris
pretty
Same extra.
quickly.
The actor
The actor.
Paid actor.
in the commercial.
It's not like his brother or something.
And Lloyd, we've
Paid
look.
actor.
Or he
we've had
has
the-
3 twins.
We've had the commercial on for a really long time, and Floyd just figured this out. So it's okay.
Hold
It happens.
on.
Sometimes
Wait,
there's epiphanies
He was
that happen.
enamored by Pixley's figure.
Yeah, that you're
He
you're
couldn't
right.
get past Pixley.
We have 20 minutes.
I mean, have you
Obviously-
seen? He's got like 60 years old. He looks like
He's not
Adonis.
60.
You can't tell. You could be
He's like
20.
40 something.
Phew.
But we have 40. We don't have hard stops at 8, but we want to get to the other questions. So we have an Ask Mikey and Mitch segment that we do on Wednesdays.
Yeah, what do we have?
And Sean.
And Sean, now that Sean's in here today.
Sean's in here today, so what do we got
SOS.
While you're looking, we should give a nod to the best 2A ever, Todd Peterson.
Todd Peterson.
Ah.
That is a good two-way.
He did
Talking
have a
about two-way
very
guys.
good two-way moment. I'll
One
give
good
you
moment.
that. He had a
I was
very
there in
good
the
moment.
dugout. I was like,
That might be. Hey, seriously, that might be one of my top 5 favorite interviews ever. It's up there with the. For me, it's up there with the Westbrook interview. I don't know if y'all know which one I'm talking about. But nah, like that interview was great. I love that.
The Westbrook interview?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, Westbrook was young in his career.
It's a
and
clown
they had a
question,
bad
bro.
game. Reporter comes in. Reporter comes in and asks them like some crazy question, and you have to go see the response.
Is
He's
that,
like,
is
are
that
you
what he did to your
serious?
face?
I've seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the meme face. Where he's
Y'all
like,
serious?
are you serious, bro?
He said, y'all tripping, but that wasn't all he said.
Yeah.
I've seen it before.
And
okay.
then there's Bryce
Where are
Harper
these
clown
questions
question,
in
bro.
the chat?
Coach, you gotta be.
I mean,
they're in the
the,
they're in the dock.
In the dock. Where are they?
Are they not down there? I put them in there at midnight. Me and Lloyd were in
no.
there.
Yeah, we were docking at midnight.
It's towards the bottom. It's like, I'll find it.
We have any
It's
in the
it's down here.
we have any in
It's
the
it's
chat?
above. Not my fault.
Oh my god,
Okay,
okay. Thing
here-
in here.
we'll have.
Oh.
Here's the first one.
You told me to put all this LSU stuff in here, so I
Yeah,
did
but
it.
links, bro. Links.
There's no links to this. I had to type it all out.
Yeah, my ass, you did. You typed all that out.
At midnight,
Yeah.
he
You
was.
copied and pasted that.
From Twitter. You can't
But I
link
typed
Twitter.
it
You just
out.
want a bunch of Twitter links?
You can link Twitter and it goes. to
No,
the
because
Twitter
then you're on
page.
your laptop, you're clicking it, it'll make you
But-
more frustrated, I
Okay.
assure you. I know you
Alright.
I know you well.
But
First-
first question: if you had the future of baseball in front of you and only had 30 seconds to tell him something, what would you say?
Who's the future of baseball? Well,
Like the
No, if
future
you
of
got-
prospects, like players coming up, high school players.
Wow.
if I had the future of
That
baseball
is-
in front of me, I only
We
had
started
30.
off with a hard one.
Who's this guy? Because he.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't type that.
Okay, if you had the
in.
future of baseball in front of you, so younger generation, you had 30 seconds to tell them something, what would you tell them?
I tell them the window's small. It doesn't matter if you play 10. Doesn't matter if you play 2. It all goes by like this. Enjoy every bit of it.
No doubt. And use your let your personality show.
Be yourself.
Don't get pigeonholed into saying I got to be somebody that I'm not. Right? Obviously, be a good teammate. Be work hard, play hard, but you let your personality come out because that's what people want to see. So,
Be where your feet are, kid.
Alright.
I mean,
I like just enjoy the process, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Pick me a winner, Bobby.
People are always looking for the next thing, and next thing you know, 10 years have passed.
No
and,
doubt.
You know, you're like, wow, that happened that long ago, man. Really enjoying each day, really, one day at a time.
Work on your golf game.
A lot of golf.
A lot of golf.
No,
See, I took this question totally differently. I thought if you could go into the future and see what baseball looked like, and then come back and tell them, look, this is what you should probably work on.
Well, they've already.
How would
been
I know
through
that?
it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I thought they were asking you where you thought the future of baseball would be.
If I could go into the future
Good thing I'm reading them.
and see how baseball was going to be, and I could come back in time, I wouldn't tell anybody anything. I would do it.
Yeah, what do you mean?
No, you're your same age. You come back like
No, he's
baseball
saying
is.
like if you went 30 years ahead and trying to tell them what to do, like they've already been through it.
It's like if it happened.
Just make sure Jack reads these questions. There's no way.
Well,
I would have. There's no chance I would know what Lloyd was talking about.
Because if somebody would have done that to you, if like you had the Sandlot moment where Babe Ruth appears as like a ghost and he's like, "Heroes get remembered, legends never die," whatever. But if he was like, "Dude, in 30 years, everybody's just gonna want to hit home runs, get fucking jacked," like that would you not?
Yeah,
take
but that doesn't necessarily equate
That
to
doesn't
home
mean
runs.
you're gonna hit home.
Oh no, or start working on hitting home runs, whatever.
Well, also,
like
how old
that's
is
going to
this
be the
person
future.
that
The
you're
game has
telling?
changed totally. Like you don't have to worry about hitting singles and doubles. Tony Gwynn wouldn't even play in this league.
Well, also,
like,
I don't think-
we
I don't know
only
if they'd
want
still be
Barry
playing.
Bonds.
I don't know if they'd still be playing 30 years
You
later
went a
if you
little.
told them that.
That's pretty.
I was high when I was doing this last night,
pretty
so
impressive.
I was
It's
just
definitely
trying
not
to.
where
I was just
definitely
running a
not where I
total.
went when I heard
Yeah.
that question.
You're on some vitamins.
Yeah.
You're on some vitamins.
All right.
All right, next one.
If the six
Enhance
LSU national championship teams played in a tournament, who would win?
2009 for sure.
Oh.
97.
Well, okay.
97 would give us a run.
Here's the
A
deal.
big- 6 and
Here's-
7 would
Here's the deal. Are we using what bats we're using? Because that's a big difference.
Well, what would like
Not
even,
those.
what would even out the playing field? Just everybody use a wood bat?
no, I
Wiffle
think everyone
ball.
using probably like the bats in 09. Like the bats in the 90s were.
Juiced.
I mean, nine were still juiced. The bats in the 90s were like super juiced.
Yeah, mega juice.
Oh, 9
So-
bats.
I don't know. You're always biased at the 09.
Yeah, we're biased towards what we had, but like I mean, there's a lot of good teams. I mean, like
There
you
were.
had the teams in like the early 90s when you had like Todd Walker and those guys
Yeah.
and they could bang, and then you had the 97, 98 team, 96 and 97 teams who could bang.
What was the
98
year?
team
What was the year
would've
when the
won all
shortstop
the
hit
things.
No
40 bombs?
disrespect to any of those teams. They were all
2000 was good.
ridiculously good. But just knowing the inner workings of our team,
Right.
like, it's
I mean, we're
very-
biased.
And I just feel like
Yeah, I'm biased.
And I just feel
I-
like
I
if
can
we
give
those
you
two
that,
teams
yeah.
played together, our pitching was better, right? I mean, with Lewis and with Renato and with those guys.
We
I
had
mean,
two aces that did help. No, listen, they had a lot of guys, and I know there's probably gonna be some older generation players listening, and they.
I
Here's the
respect
deal.
it, yeah.
They should think that they like
Yeah,
yeah,
the team that
100%.
you on. You should think that that's the best team that you had. Like,
Yeah.
if I thought that somebody was better than us, and like that's not discrediting my teammates. Like I think that we were the best team, but that's the good thing about it is we'll never know.
No.
Big hypothetical.
Yeah, exactly.
Play a big game.
Might
of
make that a
cup
poll.
ball.
Was that?
Might make that a Twitter poll.
I love it.
I love that.
See what kind of interaction you get on that. I
Yeah,
love
that would be a good one.
But
You missed one.
well, that's an obvious
I know.
one.
Yes.
The question is, if LSU doesn't make it to the College World Series next season, would it be considered a letdown?
Yeah, unless
Obviously.
the whole team got hurt.
Yeah.
Gigantic letdown.
I'd say
It's
yes.
Omaha or bust with everything that we've done with
This next
pitching
one's
coach,
great.
with
I'm
the
like-
guys
It's almost
coming
like
One of my
championship
favorite-
series or bust at this
This
point.
this next one.
hard run at it. Like
Yeah.
like oh man, we lost on something bad late,
Yeah.
deep into the
Yeah.
College World Series, and like man, what
Like,
a
I
good-
think-
1,000%.
I think even if they got there and went 0-2, everybody would be really mad.
Oh, that would
No.
be extreme.
That's if you go 0-2 in Omaha. I'm just being honest. That's like not actually getting there.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to get in the winning column.
Tennessee.
That's a choke job.
Like you have to.
Well, they didn't go
you have
0-2
to get in
this
the
year.
winning column.
They
Man.
didn't make
Last
it.
year they went 0-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go there and you got to win a couple Wagos.
We'll talk about
Um,
Tennessee again later.
This
in the
next
curtain
one.
calls.
This next one is gonna be great because we have a bunch of them.
What is your favorite
I want him
pulmonary
to tell the
story?
one that we talked about earlier, the one that Beau brought up.
But the question is, what is your
The
favorite
hammy?
pulmonary story?
What is your favorite pulmonary story? So, one of them, like, there's a bunch of them, right? One of my favorites didn't even happen, and I'm saying it because he's in here. And like, there's some stories that happened to me. There's some stories that happened to dude. I mean, I could write a book.
There's so many.
My favorite, one of my favorite stories was my freshman year, where we had to practice on the old field. We had to dress in the old field and practice on the new field.
Yeah.
And this is like right before the season started. And, you know, baseball players are like superstitious and like, you know, whatever. And like, so we're hitting batting practice, and Sean's like peppering balls, bro. Like gap to gap, homers, like feeling good. But the bat sounds real weird. Sounds like it's cracked. So Coach Mayor's like, Sean, like, I think your bat's cracked. And he's like, yeah, I think it is too, but like I like it. It feels good. Like I'm just gonna use it for BP. He's like, no, go get a new bat. Tell Mongo, go get a Mongo.
We're at LSU.
Well, he'd been telling me for weeks, for like a week, hey man, get a new bat. That one's dented up. Get a new bat. And I'm like, man, I'm having a really good fall. I'm comfortable with this bat. I'm gonna keep letting it ride. Well, like Mikey said, we go to the new stadium. We parade over from the old stadium to the new stadium. There's not even dugout. There's not even a dugout. There's like still like mounds out in right field, like dirt mounds. Like it's like 94% done. We're hitting BP. I'm having a good batting practice. Everything's going fine. Paul's anxious because the season's about to start. We got opening of a new stadium. We're preseason ranked number 1.
Going on.
Yeah. So I come out of the cage and he goes, "Is that your new bat?" And I'm like, "Huh?" And he's like, "Yeah, that new bat I told you to get a week ago. Is that your new bat?" And I'm like, "No, coach, I haven't got a new bat." And his face just gets all red. And he looks at me and he goes, Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of practice. And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Get your fucking bag and get the fuck out of here." So I'm like, I walk over to my stuff. I got a catcher's bag. Okay, I put my stuff in the bag. I'm walking down,
waiting for him to say like, "Hey, no, I'm just joking."
I'm walking down the right field line during batting practice. Everyone's looking at me.
First off, tell him
peppered over his head.
There's no wall yet, so like we're taking BP and like.
Coach, I'm walking out. And the guys are looking at me. I'm in full uni and cleats. I'm walking out. I'm walking around dirt mines, like like with the skid steers that like dump the dirt. And I'm like walking all the way from the new box to the old box, like to where I see walk-ons. And I'm like, man, how great would this be? So I said, fuck it, man. I'm just gonna walk and walk-ons with my fucking catcher's gear and just say fuck it. I walk all the way back, motherfucking coach. Like, are you kidding me? I get all the way there, jersey off, pants off, getting ready to hop in the shower. Matt Montgomery, equipment manager, walks up with a new bat with the steel stuff on it, right? Brand new, with the wrapper on it.
Vacuum sealed.
Yeah, I look at him. I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Here's your new bat." And I was like, thanks, Matt. Like, no, I need a new bat. Like, thank you for giving me the fucking new bat now. And he's like, and coach wants you to come back to practice. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, coach wants you to come back. I think I had changed the heart. He wants you to come back. So I put on my sweaty pants, my sweaty jersey, my socks back on, right?
Leaves in the golf cart. Doesn't even get to ride the golf cart.
Right. That dude fucking leaves in the golf cart. I walk all the way back, right? Awkward moment. I walk everyone back. Guys on the team are laughing. I'm walking back on my bag, and I'm like, was this guy fucking serious? I'm embarrassed now, like, right? Because I'm like, and he's like, "Come here," and I'm like, "What's up, coach?" And he's like, "Look, sorry I blew up earlier, He's like, "But we have a lot going on, and when I tell you to do something, I need you to fucking do it, okay? Like, you're going to fucking be one of our guys, and if I can't depend on you to get a new bat, how can I depend on you in the ninth inning to get a big hit?" And I'm like, well, those two things really don't correlate at all. But I get it. Thanks for having me back at practice. Now it's going to be a laughing stock in the locker room when the practice is over about the whole operation. I just walked all the way back on Nicholson. Cars are speeding by. I got my catcher's bag. It was a joke. So,
that was mine. I was waiting for him to take over the story because it happened to him.
I'd say my favorite story is pretty much like integrated with him, with the story we were talking about off air first. So we have a weekend where we're playing South Carolina.
That was before I got there. Oh, that was the year before I got there. That was 8. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
We were playing South Carolina. It's because it's very similar, right? Old Field, 2008. We were just getting started on that winning streak, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we were, we had a bad start. We had that bad stretch, and this is like the beginning of that winning streak.
Is that when Hollander and all them, okay.
It's the beginning of that winning streak, right? So we play, South Carolina comes to town. They're a top 5 team. They're unbelievable. They got great players everywhere,
Justin
Smoke's on the team. Yeah. Reese Havens is at short.
Yeah.
They got Phil Disher, who's hitting balls knee-high that are homers.
Yeah. When Ship jumped for the ball.
Oh my! Like legit. Right, they got dudes everywhere, bro. It's ridiculous, right? So we're like, all right, man. Like, fuck it, man. Let's see what happens, right? We beat them Friday night. Turn around, we beat them Saturday. Well, we knew Saturday, like, it is supposed to be a torrential downpour all day Sunday.
100% chance of rain.
It is. I'm talking like from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's supposed to rain. They gotta fly back. No way we can play that late. So everyone was like, look, let's whip their ass today. We all go out and get hammered tonight. Caveat of the story. True story. I'd never drank in college. Not once. It's not to pat myself on the back. It's just to give you a part of the story. So, Saturday happens. We smack them. Everybody's great.
Oh, we swept. We don't have to play Sunday.
We swept. We ain't got to play tomorrow. We going out. So the entire team goes out. I went out. I did not drink. And I left at like 12:05. Literally, home. See you. I wake up the next day. I'm talking dudes are cross-eyed walking in. Not a drop of rain.
Hot
And a
as shit.
cloud in the sky. And we're all like, no, dog, we got to play today. This is not good.
And even you're thinking that, you're just like,
I'm like,
imagine with
it's not
everybody
good.
else.
So we go out for it. We took BP that day, didn't
Uh-huh.
we? So we took BP on a Sunday too. So we take BP. We're about and in the old stadium, like you can see guys. You could be on the field and you can see guys showing up. Right? We had I'm leaving player nameless. Player comes in, you can see him. He came in super late. Like we were just about to start BP. He gets on the field and like, I mean, like he was outside for 6 minutes. He's pouring whiskey out of his pores. You could smell him.
you.
So coach livid, loses it. We were just about to start. Like we're about to start stretching for BP. Loses it. Calls everyone up. Starts just, I'm talking, just wearing us out. Then he gets to asking who all went out last night. My dumb ass thinking, I'm about to tell him I did. You know, I didn't do shit. I didn't drink, whatever. I'm going to be honest over here. So he's like, who all went out last night? Everybody that I know. I mean, I'm hearing the stories in the clubhouse, like well, who did what, what all happened. And I'm like, all right, cool. So he says that. I kind of like look around for like half a second. I'm like, I did, coach. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, the fuck? He's like, you went out last night? I was like, yeah, man. Had a good time, whatever. No one else. I think it was me. Who else ran with me?
Was it Hollander?
Hollander?
No.
That's right.
It was not. No.
Because Hollander was a mental midget. He had to hit batting practice.
And he was one of the ones that went the hardest that night.
Yeah.
No doubt.
He had to hit batting
No,
practice.
it was not Hollander. Whoever else it was me and some other person. I'm talking just straight up berated us in front of everybody. And he goes, y'all two are running poles the entire BP. So I'll let Sean tell the rest of the story. But like, so BP starts. We are literally running poles.
Dodging
South
balls.
Carolina, we're dodging balls. South Carolina's stretching, and they're looking at us because they knew we were starters. And they were looking at us like, what y'all doing? I'm like, went out last night, bro. Kept running. Hollander's hitting, all these guys are hitting. So Sean, tell the rest of the story.
Well, so there was the 1-5 beer story that happened earlier in that fall, but then we had me and him already had a couple dust ups for a while with him thinking I was a big go out animal, which I was medium. There was guys worse, there was guys not as bad. I was like in the middle, right? Maybe middle upper echelon, right? And
Obviously, you got noticed.
he is just appalled that I didn't have any because I didn't. I did go out, but I didn't have any, right? And the whole time he's like, "You didn't have any beers last night?" And I'm like, "No, man, you're not getting me this time. I had nothing." Right? I had nothing because we already had an episode back in the fall where we had a bad practice, right? And I'm kicking balls behind the plate, off my glove. Guys are booting stuff. We're hitting off a machine, and like we keep popping up the machine. And he calls everybody out in right field. He's like, "This is fucking ridiculous. This is a fucking horseshit practice. This is why your guys are horseshit." Lashes before the season starts, and I'm one of the guys, hungover, and Paul's like, "Who all went out last night? Who went out?" Right? So like, and I'm standing all the way in the back of the huddle, right? And the pitching coach grabs me and pushes me forward because I smell. I'm noticeably hungover, pushing me to the front. And Paul goes, "Oh, Chinko," and I'm like, I'm looking at him, and I'm like, "Oh man, this is not gonna be good." He's like,
What a moment.
how many beers did you have?" And I'm like, all right, well, I've had like 9 and 3 tequila shots, but I can't tell him that, right? It's like, I had 5. I'll go 5. I had 5, coach. He goes, 5 beers? And he's like, and I was like, yeah. And I'm like, I thought he would be a little better about it. He's like, 5 whole beers? And I was like, well, yeah, no one just drinks half and puts it down and drinks another half. You finish it, then you go to the next one, right? Like, that's not what you do. And he's like, who here? And there's everyone sitting around. Who here thinks Ochinko can practice today after having 5 whole beers? And I'm thinking, oh man, this is good. Some of the guys are going to stand up for me, raise their hand, right? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's been with the team
6 minutes.
for 7 minutes. He's coming back from football, right? He goes, Chad, you think Ochinko can practice today after having 5 whole beers? And I'm thinking, all right, Chad's gonna be my boy. Like I saw him out last night. He was high. Like it doesn't matter. Like he's gonna be good, right? Chad's like, no, man. I don't think Ocho can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. I fucking saw you there. You were more fucked up than me. Like, holy shit, kicks me out of fucking practice, right? The whole thing. Like, and it just, it was a constant battle.
So to go back to the other story, because like I said, that was like integrated in it. That whole thing happens. BP's over. The game's gonna happen. We start the game. We play a couple innings. Finally, the torrential downpour comes. There's a 2.5 hour rain delay. You remember this, right?
Everybody's sleeping.
So no, not everyone. My ass was. So we're in the clubhouse.
You just
I'm
ran
on the
to a
floor.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
deal. Here's the deal. This man
Well, because we've talked about this on here before.
Yeah.
Like, I'll fall asleep anywhere.
anywhere.
Coach doesn't know this, though. But I'll just fall asleep anywhere. Like, I can sleep anywhere. It's no big deal for me.
Yeah,
So
babe.
for me, 2.5 hours clubhouse, everybody just kind of fiddle for it and doing whatever. I laid down on the ground. I put a jacket over my head. I had headphones on, and I'm, like, sleeping. I didn't know he walked in the clubhouse, which he never comes in the clubhouse. He walks in the clubhouse, and I think he might have kicked half of my calf off. He kicks me, and he's like, "What the fuck up? What are you doing over here sleeping in this? You're not ready for the game and this." And I'm talking like, and like the music kind of stops. The trainers like look around the corner and just wearing me out. I'm on the floor. Like, the fuck, bro? What do you want me to do? We've been in there for 2.5 hours. Whatever, it's over. So game starts. We resume the game. My very first at bat after that, I hit an opposite field homer. And I'm running the bases, and I'm like, oh, I can't fucking wait to see it. And so at that point, like, everyone would come out the dugout, or we started the year and people were coming out and they didn't let us, so we couldn't like really go out the dugout. And then we started doing it again later in the year, and we just didn't care. So no one really came out the dugout. Everybody's like in the dugout, and he's like at the top step, and I'm coming in, and he's at the top step, and he's like, and I looked at him and I just winked. I didn't even shake his hand. I winked and I just went right by everyone else. I just know he was so pissed about it.
Oh, Paulie.
Oh man, but look, that's a tough question because there's so many.
But there's
so many.
Then we give you those two, and then we could do a whole show.
We can do a
with this.
3-hour show.
Yeah,
So
we can do a whole show.
And the funniest thing is we kind of did this when we had him on the show the first time. He's like, I don't remember doing any
Oh,
of
he'll
that.
tell you he never did any
He
of
never
that.
did.
No, because he was so neurotic and just like it was the beginning of him trying to get the program going again, and like it was just like, oh, dude, he was just being nauseous.
Was he harder on anybody than you? Do you feel like?
No, I was probably up there.
he was up
He was
there.
up there. Mike was up there too.
Hollander was up there high.
Hollander was up there.
I was
too.
up there high. Yeah, I got a good.
Nick was hot.
Pond
Nick
of
was
War
up
too.
there.
Yeah,
I was
Pond of
I
War
was up
a little
there.
bit.
I'm trying to think of anybody that our. Yeah, he was kind of hard on Jacoby a little bit.
It just
Not
feels like
not like that.
you're prime real estate.
Oh, I got crushed.
Well, he wasn't. Sean got there when like Coach was like,
It was his first year,
"Yeah, bro."
and
he
I was
a
the
drill
first recruit,
sergeant.
right?
Drill
And it was
sergeant.
like Navy SEAL level.
Apparently
running.
that fall, because I wasn't there in the fall, and apparently that fall was like half the team wanted to quit. Like the whole team
like
wanted
Navy
to quit.
SEAL level running. Like I got there, I remember calling my dad after 2 weeks. I was like, "Hey man, I thought this was like play college baseball, go out, like do your thing. This is fucking like every time I wake up and my feet hit the ground, I know I'm gonna throw up today.
Oh
Like,
God, I'm
every
not.
day, every day, running stadiums, doing the levies, like you just setting the precedent, trying to weed out the dead weight, and it was just
Brutal.
rush. 6 a.m. mental toughness would be on the schedule. It's like 6 a.m. mental toughness up at 5:30 there, running until you're exhausted. I mean, you have half a beer that night, you're crushed. You know, like
Start pounding Twinkies so it tastes good when you throw up. That was my
dude.
trick.
Never heard that before, but I like it.
Yeah, dude. There's so many stories. So many stories. But I know
Paul's a
there's
good
other
guy.
questions in here. We don't have enough time to get to all of them because it's 8:00 and we have some other segments that we need to do before we call it kaput.
Capiche?
Not My Fault is brought to you by Lance Beal, attorney at law. It used to be our spite bet. We don't like betting for Lance.
No, yeah, Lance doesn't. We
Now
do.
it's not my fault. Lance Beal,
Speak-
attorney at law in Lafayette. Go ahead, speak
I
it.
was going to say, sorry, Lance. I wish you were doing the spite bet of the week because we did cash a home run derby ticket. So it's unfortunate you can't have your name attached to that.
I did.
But Caesars can. So use the
Caesars
promo code
Mic'd up 15.
MikeDup15.
For
Scan the
Caesars.
QR code that's in the top left corner. It's right there.
We're getting fancy.
Just pick up,
There you go.
pick up the
We got a
phone,
little-
go
we
to the
got a
camera,
little-
brings you straight to the website with the promo code already plugged in.
There you
So
go.
thank you, Caesars.
Yep.
But Lance Beal, this is your time to shine, and the not my fault for today is not my fault. I didn't change seats with somebody that had a child with them. Me, 26, girlfriend 25, boarding a plane, and we're going to our seats, center and window seat. We paid extra so that we could sit next to each other on the flight. Whatever, you'll get over that. After getting to our 3-aisle seat, there's a mother and an 8-year-old girl one of them was in our seats. We asked about the seating assignments. The mother stated the airline crew told her that she and her daughter must sit next to each other, and the center seat belongs to her daughter. We called a crew member over to help sort things out. The mother emphasized that her daughter is only 8. It's a long flight, 4 hours, not that long. So they need to sit next to each other.
4 hours is a long flight.
That's deep.
It's a
I
long
don't like
flight.
anything over 3.
That's
That's
a
a
movie.
long flight. man.
240, 230,
Go
245
ahead.
is like my max.
Yeah.
I get a
Yeah,
little goofy.
sure. I guess 4 hours, not a long drive, long flight.
Yeah.
Okay. So they need to sit next to each other. The crew member told the mother that she should have asked somebody else about prior to boarding. Long story short, they get the seat switched. She doesn't sit next to her daughter. Is it their fault that they wanted to sit next to each other just because it's an 8-year-old daughter?
So, I get where both sides are coming from, right? But I also think that the 8-year-old daughter should probably be next to mom more than the 25-year-old girlfriend,
Right?
1,000%.
right?
They paid their money, and I get that.
2 times over.
But dude, the girl, it's an 8-year-old daughter, man. You're a grown person. Go sit in another seat. Buy it out.
Yeah, like it's okay unless you're trying to do some weird stuff in the plane.
No,
but,
no.
like,
Go sit next to
go
me.
sit somewhere else. Let the 8-year-old
Yeah,
daughter.
don't have the
Now,
8-year-old
maybe
on
the
that trip
mom
if that's
could have
what you wanna
like maybe.
And that's where the
Preface it
second
better?
part of the story comes in. It turns out that the mother had lied to them. She didn't do any. She didn't talk to anybody. She didn't talk to anybody on the flight.
Of course not.
She just went ahead and moved it and then lied to everybody, saying that no, I talked to this person. I talked to this person. They're on the plane. She said she talked to a flight attendant. I mean, not a flight attendant. The person that helps book you and got the seats changed. All of it was a lie. So he's like, I don't mind doing it, but just on principle that you fucking lied to me, I don't want to move.
No doubt. Now, if she just said, "Hey, it's my 8-year-old daughter. We couldn't get a seat together. I don't feel comfortable with her sitting by herself. Do you mind switching?" That's different. But regardless,
It's a battle of principle.
Yeah, but regardless, let the 8-year-old daughter sit next to mom,
Right.
dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say that once you start lying, then kick rocks, 8-year-old. Go sit by your
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, it would be fine if you'd have been able to,
How
like,
they know that she was lying? That's crazy.
because the tickets didn't match up, and she was like, "Oh no, they said it's personal policy." It's like, no, we have these tickets. Like, where are you going to shove me or shove? You know, I get that part. I don't care who I sit next to on a flight, but now we're in a battle of like personal. Who are you to think that you can just snipe my seats just because you're using your kid as a pawn?
Sure. No, I
So,
agree.
and you get a window seat, which people
Yeah.
clamor for.
Like, there's a way to
I
go
like the
about it.
aisle.
I'm an aisle seat better. Yeah,
Alright.
I'm a window seat guy. I need a little lean.
See, I like the
The
aisle.
window seat.
I don't like to be like
The
this.
window
I need
seat.
a little lean.
The window seat is better for nap time.
Yeah.
The aisle seat is better for a
For
little
legs.
more leg room and like quick buzz to the bathroom
Yeah.
and like you're
I'm literally usually it doesn't really. It's weird. I'm weird on flights, dude. Even if it's like a 5-hour flight, like I'm usually sit down, sleep, and I'm pretty much probably not gonna move the entire flight. I'm trying to sleep.
See,
I
I'm
get too antsy sometimes. I gotta get up and just walk to the bathroom just for nothing. Just because I
Now as soon as the flight touches down, I gotta pee. It doesn't matter if it's a 45-minute flight or a 4-hour flight.
you got ADD.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's 100%. That's an ADD move because I do that. So to quell that
I'll
move,
start shaking. I gotta start moving my legs and like I gotta get moving around.
I started packing like the little airport bottles, and I'll just put them in my carry-on, nip those, and put on a movie, and I'm good to go.
That's illegal. You can't do that.
No, it's not. If they're in the it's under
can bring
the liquid container amount, but they didn't say how many. Bring
Yeah,
like
proud of you.
yeah, thank you.
Proud of you.
I'm following the rules.
Nice.
We did that for a bachelor party, and I passed out like 20 of them on a flight from Ellick to.
Oh, they said you passed out.
Yeah, but
No,
I thought
no.
you just
Yeah.
passed out 20 times. I'm like, excuse me.
I got up. No,
Jesus.
there's a way around that too.
I've done a
We have to sit down. We have to have a talk about that. If you pass out 20 times on a flight.
No, it's passed out all the. Yeah, that sounds.
Say,
It's
we need to keep you on the
narcolepsy.
wheels then. We don't need to put you out there.
Yeah. Okay. I like those. That was a good one.
They're hard to find. It's hard to find what's up that are. I want to
Yeah.
go for the middle ground where it's actually a debate.
That was
I
a
mean,
good one.
they're
That was a
both
good
being
one.
assholes.
That
So
was good.
That was good. Okay. Curtain call. Brought to you by Dozy Place. Again, when Monday Night Football starts happening, we're getting Dozy to cater some stuff here.
Oh, I love those. Get a nice
Oh,
catcher's
hey,
mitt.
here's the deal. Here's the
Catcher's
deal.
mitt steak.
Here's the deal.
Big as your
butterfly.
Yeah,
Here's the
big-
deal,
big
though.
boy.
So
thick,
we have the show Monday Night Football on 6 to 8. And we'll be right in the middle of Monday Night Football.
right?
Need the boys to come in here
I love it.
and have a game. Watch
the
the
boys
game
in.
together. Exactly.
Let's go.
In the big room.
I would love it.
Here we go. Boom. And we're gonna have
Okay.
Dozy. We'll have Dozy for it. But curtain call is brought to you by Dozy Place. What's your curtain call?
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yep.
All right. Let me pull mine up real quick. I have one. I want to say this, and I have a couple, but I have two things, but I'm going to go with the one that we watched the Home Run Derby together, and I think we talked about it a little bit while we were watching. The amount of pressure that is on the guy flipping BP
1,000%.
Yeah.
during.
That's where it's at.
And
That's it. That
That's
makes or
where it's
breaks the home run derby.
I thought the same thing because I thought
Foul ball, roll over, 2 or 3 of those in a row, and that guy
because it's not about me, and then it starts being about me. It's like now I'm nervous.
But
Yeah.
it's just even out there to go out there and not alligator arm the BP throws now. Don't act like that's not the yippee things isn't real. You walk out there in front of 50,000 people and you're throwing your boy BP.
with no turtle.
Right? With nothing. And now you're just now they do have a catcher which helps a lot.
Yeah, catcher helps.
Okay, now that
Did
that
you
gives
see the
a
catcher
target.
back there? I don't know how much work he was doing.
So realistically, after enough BP, it's all a feel thing, and like there could be nothing. Once you just got the rhythm of it, then it's there, right? But there's definitely ones where you throw one up and in that gets near the hitter, and you almost bump him. Then you start to get a little, you start to yank him down in the way, and then once you miss a couple and becomes a thing, then it's a bad downward.
Or you'd be like David Greer and hit DJ maybe in the head in Omaha.
That's tough.
That's tough. Anyway.
Yeah,
And
I
you
give,
get to
I give
keep
those
throwing?
BP guys a lot of credit. That
Yeah, that makes
Throwing
or breaks
BP
the home run derby.
a good BP throw is like a national treasure.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
BP and fungos, man, it's not easy.
Yeah, fungos are tough too.
Because it's almost like a little bit like when you're on the range, and if you hit a couple off the hosel, you're like,
Yeah.
well, that's not the feel I was looking
Typically,
for.
guys that throw good BP are like catchers, like myself,
Yeah,
short
short
arm
arm.
strokes. I don't have
Yeah.
the long outfielder arm or the long infielder arm. It's the short little.
Usually
darts.
not pitchers because pitchers are
Right.
usually trying to get you out still. They're just
Right.
programmed
yeah,
that way.
no, it's usually a lot of the catchers throw the good darts.
So that's your curtain call.
That
is-
was my curtain
is
call,
the
'cause-
VP pitchers.
Because I felt like you could tell a little bit
Yeah.
watching it,
Oh, yeah.
like, oh, this guy's
The
locked
guy with
in.
the no step for
Right, and he was
Julio.
he understood.
just throwing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
He
nice.
would just
He
fade
was
right
money.
in there into the barrel. It was nice.
I just remember at first we were like, why is this guy not stepping? It was like, oh, 32 jacks later. That was probably a good strategy.
Yeah.
Well, and he made a whiff on the first one.
Well, and here's the
Yeah.
deal. He was able to get more balls out quick. He didn't
Right.
have to take his time to throw.
Right.
Pick it up,
There
throw,
wasn't
pick
a
it
big-
up, throw.
Some
Yeah.
guys got
there
a
was
little rhythm.
Very good turnover rate.
Yeah.
It was literally shoot the ball and throw it. He showed the ball and throw it. It was fast. It was very fast.
My curtain call is, and I had it in my head, but it's on here anyway. But is to MLB for being open-minded enough to say, you know what, like this isn't about like the history of the All-Star Game. This is about making it fun for the fans and fun for the players and fun, something different. It's like I really enjoyed the mic'd up,
Yeah, it was
like
cool.
the pitchers being mic'd up middle of the game,
I
and
like
like talking about how he's going to approach the hitter, and like talking to John Smoltz, who's one of the best to ever do it, and like going through that, and then being able to like still pitch, and Manoah struck out the side doing that, which I thought was freaking awesome.
But
That's my
they do that now in some real games, like outfielders mic'd up.
Every Sunday
right?
night.
Yeah, I
they
noticed
pick
that they
one
had the
guy
big-
for one
they
inning.
had
Yeah,
the-
but, like,
the
Yeah, but
never
we've
seen
always
that.
talked about it'd be better like, hey, get the first baseman, like get this
Yeah.
catcher because the catcher's gonna talk to the umpire, like get real conversation. You don't really want to have.
But like you never seen the
They put
pitcher
a-
like talk about how he's going to approach the
Yeah.
hitter.
No, I love that. Now the first baseman was cool, but then there's some dicey conversations that happen over at first base.
Well, yeah.
You don't want to be mic'd up.
They don't
so you-
have-
So you got to hit him up early, but him and him mic'd up.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
Of course.
That was cool when they put Stan and Judge on the mic at the same time and had
Yeah.
them connected to where they could hear each other.
That's what they did with Max Fried and Garrett Cole in the dugouts. They were
Yeah.
talking to each other.
I think they did it for Nestor and whoever
Yep.
the Yankees
Yeah.
infielder was.
Jose Trevino? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, who's yours?
All of our Twitter followers for absolutely destroying Mr. Tennessee guy all day yesterday.
Yeah, I love
and
it.
even this morning when I woke up, they were still going at him. It's like, Jesus Christ. This guy is defending his life all day. But we
Hey, I appreciate
just
that.
every few hours somebody
And
new
you
would
didn't
just
even,
jump
you,
in.
we didn't even like.
I responded to him like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
and
but that was
then
it.
it was just like, they
That was
just
over.
went at him.
That was
And
it.
he actually got mad. He like commented on one of our things. Like, you didn't need to send your army at me. Da 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 da.
You did it yourself.
Yeah, I
bro.
mean, you
You did.
commented on our post first.
You know what you want to do. You shouldn't. You mad? You quote tweeted it. Is what he said.
Yeah, they're gonna see it regardless.
Yeah.
I don't think he understands how Twitter works.
No.
Obviously not.
I don't
Bro,
think so.
this
I'm
is
so
a-
happy
this
I
is-
don't have Twitter.
What?
Well, I don't-
You're missing
But
out.
tell them why
I
you don't
didn't
have
know
Twitter.
any
Isn't that you don't have?
Coach, no Twitter, no Facebook, no.
He got locked out of his Twitter. You know, he can't get his password.
Oh, that's what it
This
is.
is true, but no Twitter.
I love the don't give a fuck factor. If you
Oh,
can lock
man.
me out of anything for a long enough, I don't know.
You know what, man? It's just like.
It wasn't like he got locked out yesterday.
The
It's been
less
like 6 years.
I got
That's what I'm
Insta-
saying. It's been that long.
I got
don't mind.
Instagram, and that's it. No iPad, no phone that goes it. Nothing, man. I got phone, I got Instagram, and that's it, bro. I don't need people to know what I'm doing all the time.
See, I'm in the cut from the same cloth, but I have to have Twitter for work.
Yeah.
No, I get it from a social media aspect, what you guys are trying to do, but
I mean, I haven't posted on Instagram.
I sell medical-
Your Twitter
So
game's
medical
good enough.
devices,
Remember,
man.
I had just need a little nudge from me
Yeah, that's what it was.
because you have. I was like, Lloyd talks. He goes, man. he'll say these things and they're funny. I'm like, dude, just tweet what you think. If you tweet what you think, you're gonna all the funny stuff is gonna go on Twitter and people are gonna start following you. And
Or he'll get arrested. But
well, I mean, not all the things.
Well, you got to keep it a little bit kosher.
Yeah, not
right?
all.
Yeah, we're PG-13. We're
Yeah,
not
but
NC.
like-
let it
Too
fly.
aggressive.
So
Let
then he
it
started
Okay.
doing it. I'm like, there he goes.
Yeah.
It's
Take
been
the
working.
top
You've been
off
getting
that
some traction on it. You've been getting some followers.
I have. I don't know if I want them or not, but they're there.
They're there.
And I have, since we have one more person here, I figured I would do a courtesy curtain call for what I saw. And I feel like you've seen this too.
But I got a curtain call too.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
My curtain call has absolutely nothing to do with baseball, though.
Perfect.
My curtain call goes to Jordan Peele for making what seems to be another great movie coming out.
Nope.
Called Nope, and that's exactly how I feel about going to watch it. Nope. I won't watch a single fucking bit of it.
Is it
I don't.
scary?
Is it
It's
scary?
another scary looking
What
movie.
was the
and
last one he made? It
I
was the
don't
one where the
care.
person gets like is
I don't
is
know.
a slave.
It's probably going to do great numbers. I won't see a scene from it.
Which one am I thinking of? Is it the one where the
Get Out.
person's trapped?
Get out.
Terrible.
I,
So scary.
Yeah.
I'm so out on
so
that.
once
I hate
again,
scary movies.
my curtain calls to Jordan Peele. That's great. I'm sure your movie's going to be awesome. I ain't.
I watched Get
see
Out,
it.
and
Not
I
good.
I don't care. And you
I
can
hate no.
and you can
Hate
call me
scary
what
movies.
you want.
Hey.
Can't stand
You can
it.
call me what you want. Just don't call me collect. I'm not going to watch it. I don't care. I don't care. It's not happening.
Wait,
You know, I'm not paying you to scare me. It's just not going to happen.
I'll pay
I'm
my
not doing
money to be on.
that. I'll go get my throws
2.5
elsewhere.
hours.
I'll go get my throws elsewhere.
I'm out on
I don't-
scary movies too.
I'm out on scary movies, but I'm more out on like horror movies. These are like thrillers to me. I've seen
They're
Get
thrillers
Out.
slash. Yeah, I don't know.
But it's spooky.
I
And
know what he's
creepy,
trying to
and it's
do,
just like
and I'm not falling for the trick.
That's why he says nope.
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 Not gonna do
See,
it.
I
Okay, what's your
watched.
courtesy?
I watched
Yeah.
Us on mushrooms.
Nope.
Scared
Nope.
the shit out of me.
Yeah,
I was
nope.
like, this is eerie, but
Yeah, nope.
Get
boy,
Out.
That's probably
doing
not good.
My wife
Yeah,
tried to
I'm
convince
okay.
me that the movie The Nun wasn't scary.
she don't have eyes, dude.
Yeah, okay.
Coach, that's in the
okay.
same like
I can only
paranormal
do, like,
that's
shit
where I-
like
that's
stuff.
where I
I'm like,
cut the line.
I can
Hey.
only do like the old school
happening.
Halloween, Mike Myers, Freddy Krueger, where it's not good. I can do those because it's just like, there's just jumpy parts, right? Like the screams and stuff like that. Even though
You know what terrified the shit out of me was the Candyman, the old Candyman.
Oh,
They
with
made
the
new
hook
one.
on
You remember Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, I'm good on these.
The Ring.
I'm out
The
on.
Ring-
I'm out on
The
all of
Ring
those
was-
types.
Yeah,
of
I'm straight
movies.
on these. I ain't got. I'm
So
not
I'm
doing
getting
this.
goosebumps.
Y'all ever seen the one on Netflix called Mara about sleep paralysis?
See, I'm out on that. I don't even want to
No.
talk about it because it can happen.
I'm not doing that.
Ugh.
I'm just
I
not
don't do
doing
the
it.
scary stuff. I know it's
I'm just
real.
not
And
doing
I just
it.
let it be.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
good.
Let
I'm good
it
on
sit
that.
there. I know those things are ghosts and all that stuff is
Yeah.
real. I don't rattle the cage and let's get the camera going in the house and see if we can get the.
No, don't want to know.
No. I respect you. I'm tipping my cap. I'm over here doing my own.
Freddie.
thing.
No.
Not having it.
No, man, that's scary.
I don't even like. I feel weird talking about it.
Yep. Let's get
Let's
next
get to,
subject.
let's go to.
Next
Give me
subject.
something positive.
Yeah. What's your other curtain call? Something positive or funny or something?
Yeah, this is probably something that y'all have dealt with in the past, which is the older man autograph seeker.
Hate that.
Look at this guy
Look at that
elbowing
guy.
kids.
Bum rushing the
Look
little
at-
kid underneath him.
Yeah, just-
No deodorant. Kids just smelling all his underarm. Come on, man.
He's a Padres fan in Los
Come
Angeles.
on, man.
Look at,
wow.
throw a shot!
Dude,
That's you should be ashamed of yourself.
this guy should be banned from baseball games.
That's
Somebody should literally pull him with the cane like they used to do in
Is
the
that
cartoons.
Verlander?
by his
Was that
neck.
Verlander?
By his neck. Just go ahead and get him out
that's
of there.
Bush.
Was that
because you
Verlander?
want to know what happens? Yeah, maybe have your one. Look, there could be.
I mean, are you kidding me? Look at that kid. Look at the kid under him, man.
Right. Now that there could be
Oh,
some,
look at him.
there could be something wrong with that guy, right? He could have like a little like.
I don't. But there, it doesn't matter because we've seen them. Like, there's a whole bunch of those. Like, that's too much.
And you know what those people do? They get the autograph and then they go sell it.
Straight to eBay.
Yep.
That's it.
Can't stand that.
And
I'm off those guys.
You know what? You go to that little kid there who like. That's,
He's got two balls
Yeah.
too.
Look, he like.
I know you
he
can't
like-
see it right now. He's got a ball in the other hand.
He
too.
like
You
hits
just
the
you
kid,
just
watch.
look at this kid. He's like looking at him like kick rocks, dude. I'm trying.
And then he hits him.
13. This is my favorite player. Like get out
yeah,
of here.
dude, get out of here.
That's so bad.
Can't stand that. Hate
What
those
player
guys.
is that?
Can't tell.
Is it not Verlander?
Look, he
No,
does
it's
have
not
two
Verlander.
balls.
It's not
Look, he's
Verlander.
got one
He does
fucking
have
ready
two
to
balls.
go.
I told you he's got two.
Throwing the palm ball.
Give one to the kid.
Bro, it's like he's gonna
Yeah.
hit like watch the kid elbows him and then he hits
And
him.
that poor little kid on the bottom is asking for autograph. He's just
Kid
happy to be
miserable.
there. Yeah, that's dark. Get it off the screen
Get-
too. I hate it.
That's terrible. Hate those guys.
Nope.
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 Great show, boys. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, man, I love
And
it.
you come more.
Gervase,
is a
dude,
good
I'm
vibe
sorry
here.
I had to step out for a second. I miss you, man.
It's okay. He was
Congrats.
very, very appreciative of his time at LSU, and he wanted to apologize. He actually gave a very good. He didn't need to apologize.
Congrats, man.
Right.
It's cool.
Apologize for shooting his shot a little early about coming back. He didn't realize he'd get overslot in the third round. With all the
Good for
rules.
him.
That
Went in the
happens,
third
man.
round. No.
No, third day.
Went 12th round. Got a little.
Yeah, but
money.
he got the money he wanted.
Tell you what, man, I wouldn't be surprised if he made it to the show.
No doubt.
Me
That's
either.
exactly what I said.
He's got
Exactly
funky
what I
stuff.
said.
He's big. If he could.
And
He's
he
long.
likes, and he's a good dude. Like
And guys
he's
catch
just
some velo. If he starts getting up to 96, 97, 98 with that action and the slider, man, he'd be really good.
Real good.
He's definitely really good.
Wants me to
Great
run his
show.
social media.
Was that?
He said he wants me to run his
Yeah,
social.
I don't know
So
if he
that,
should.
that wouldn't be good.
No.
Beau
That
Lowery
wouldn't be
was
good.
awesome.
Bo was great.
Bo was great. He gave
Bo
a
was
lot of
awesome.
insight. Bo would have stayed here for 2 hours.
We could have talked to Bo forever too.
I know.
And Bo had some probably some. not
I didn't even
probably.
ask stories.
Bo had some Paul stories
Can't believe
too.
you dropped
yeah.
my mom's hot story though. That was great.
Oh, dude, do you think
I've
what a
heard
Wait,
that
did you
before.
know about that? I didn't
I've
even
heard
know
that
about that.
before,
I said
yeah.
I didn't
I didn't know
about
about
that.
it either.
I heard that.
That was my first time hearing that one.
Yeah.
That's
Shout out
a
to
cut.
my
That's
mom.
a cut for social, no doubt.
Uh,
Shout out, mom. Got you a
shout out.
Scully.
A lot of cuts from today. Though.
Don't bring don't bring her around Zach Wilson.
yeah, I'll stay at home.
You got us here, huh?
I want to play for the Jets.
God, great show. Love good shows. Apologize. We're
Hate
not gonna
bad
have
ones.
hate bad shows. We're not gonna have a show this Friday from Uncle Earl's. I'm sorry. I apologize. I am in a wedding. Can't not be in the wedding. I tried to make it work on Friday, and it's too hard.
Tea
Jay
time's
Mitch
too
host?
late.
Too hard.
Huh?
Huh?
Is it Jay Mitch host?
It's in the works.
Ringo Chico back?
Good.
It's in the
Yeah,
works.
Mitch host. We actually gonna you're gonna have to do that in a couple weeks. I have to go to a little training session
It's in the
Denver,
works.
Colorado.
It's in the works, baby.
Yeah.
I think I have to go somewhere soon too. The
You
beach.
do. You did tell me on Monday.
The beach.
The 11th,
That's
huh?
what. No, it was a lot later than I think.
I don't remember.
You're going to play golf, right?
No, I'm just going to the beach. It's a little family trip.
Oh,
Oh, then I got a caddy. 8-8.
it's
8-8.
8-8
There it
Monday.
is.
That's the time.
Yeah, probably leave Saturday, practice round. Hopefully watch a casual.
Is this the
This is the guy.
qualifier?
Yeah, this is the USAM. So
Big moment for you.
yeah.
Oh, that is
You're
big.
not
Good
gonna
for
be
you.
you're not gonna be prepared.
That's actually this would shock you. I take this very
positivity.
seriously.
I would hope so. It doesn't
Why do you think
shock
he's in
me.
at 45 at 12,
That
sweating
doesn't
his butt
shock
off?
me that you're taking it seriously. I just want you're gonna have the book. You have the green book.
That's
and
what
you're
I'm
gonna,
saying. That would you Papa Vivance. I get
And
on
you're gonna, like, write notes and stuff?
bluegolf.com and I know his
No,
distances.
it's take pride in it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love
Well,
that.
because he's relying on it. It's like producing this show.
No
It
doubt.
all falls on me if it goes wrong. I feel
doubt.
like
Right.
it's like a catcher.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
The many
Quarterback.
sides of Lloyd.
The mini size of Lloyd. You get them all.
Or I'll get hammered and be hungover the
Or
next
both.
day. Yeah.
And
No, that works
and
too
maybe,
sometimes.
And maybe you're even better too.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the only
Something
way I
to be
usually
said for
play
that.
golf.
Just can't be in the middle.
No.
You're either real hungover or you're crystal clear.
Yeah.
Great show, boys. Great show. 8:20 overtime. You love getting me in the OTs. You
Big
do
OT
love
guy.
getting the OTs. It was a good. So we couldn't stop talking. We had some
vibe
good
was good.
interviews. Good
All right.
vibe. Good vibes. We'll see you again on Monday.
Third chair's always open.
I know.
brother.
Always open. Always open. We'll see you on Monday. 8 to 6. 8 to 6. 6 to 8.
That's a long
Wow.
shot.
It's a long show.
I'm not
8
coming 8
p.m.
to
to
6.
6
I'm
a.m.
telling you right now. I'm not doing
6
it.
to 8 on Monday. We'll be back. Enjoy the weekend. We're going to obviously put out a lot of content on social throughout the course of the week and the weekend. We have a lot of clippable moments
That's a
from
word.
the show.
right.
Again, you're watching Mik'd Up, brought to you by Sterling Automotive. We'll see you again on Monday.
Possible golf tournament in the
My
works.
Peace.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
possible golf tournament in the
We'll
works.
talk about that on Monday.
We'll talk it through.